show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Without a healthy mind, being happy is hard. Visit betterhelp.com/bombcast and see if online therapy is for you.
Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 710. I'm your host today, Jan Ochoa, and we as the Bombcast wish Jason A. Stryker a speedy recovery on his assignment, but flanked on either side of me like a delicious sandwich, we have Jeff Gersman.
Hello, I'm here. I'm ready to fight.
Sandwiches, yay or nay?
I love a sandwich.
All right.
As long as it's made in a very specific way.
Oh, it still counts. Still counts.
Everyone wants a sandwich a specific way. That's not like if someone just goes like, "Yeah, sandwich, I'll take it." What is it? I don't care. Take it. Like I don't trust that person.
I don't trust
the person who just says like, "Yeah, whatever sandwich you got, I'll eat." I'm like, nope, that's not right.
Yeah, if you go to like a catering thing or something that is catered, they just have a bunch of sandwiches. We don't accept them.
You got to look at it first.
Yeah.
I can accept it, but like, you open it up, you go like, "Oh man, come on."
Okay. The other half of this sandwich, Jeff Bacalar.
Can I be the meat?
Well, I mean, I was in the middle, so it's implied that I'm
it's
the
kind
meat.
of, that's a
Can I
weird
still
sandwich.
be
If
the meat?
Jan is still bread, I mean, okay. I mean, you could both be the meat.
You have to be the
double meat sandwich.
We're a double down. We're double
Sorry.
down. You guys are like the fried chicken patties. I'm the cheese in the middle.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're here to kill you.
I'm hungry. There is a chef we can ask, though.
Yes. Culinary expert.
Chef sandwich.
Not you, Danny. Sorry, we'll get to you in a second. Ben Pack reporting live from the Iron Chef Stadium.
I'm wearing, we had such a classy top of the show. I figured I'd come in here and really continue the class. If you're listening to the audio version, I'm dressed in a Brioni pre-couture virgin wool suit.
Sorry, hang on.
Heather gray.
No, he's not. Ben, who are you wearing?
Yeah. This is a Brioni. It's the Heather Gray pre-couture. I can't even say that word. I'm dressed in my Halloween costume because I had it laying here from when I did Halloween on Zoom. I won't stand. We can introduce Danny in a second, and I think he's on the same page as me, judging by his reaction from earlier. But if somebody says, "Hey, you want a sandwich?" I'm going to say yes. I'm going to eat the sandwich.
Okay.
Eat the sandwich.
There's like
Daniel
a 5%
Dwyer.
chance it's a sandwich that I don't want.
Yeah.
Daniel Dwyer,
Yeah.
does cheddar cheese belong on a sandwich?
Of course it does. Of course
Yeah,
it
what the hell
does.
kind of question is that?
I don't know.
What type of deviant doesn't have? Sorry, I was only half listening. I'm trying to learn as many lyrics off this new Limp Bizkit album as I possibly can. And I'm absolutely starstruck with this the verse from Snacky Poo.
I'm sorry.
That's been the one that's been definitely making the rounds.
Snacky
sure.
Poo, yeah. Do you mind if I just for the folks at home?
Oh,
who don't
yeah.
know
Please.
the lyrics, yeah.
Yeah,
So
please.
Don't sing it too
chorus-
well, though, because we might
Chalk-
get DMCA'd somewhere.
Yeah, I don't want to get clapped.
Yeah. I don't want Wes Borland knocking down my front door. Chocolate on the star, chocolate on the starfish, chocolate on the starfish, everybody kiss it. Chocolate on the star, chocolate on the starfish, chocolate on the starfish, everybody kiss it.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
art.
Yeah, we had an announcement before the show started, and I thought that would be maybe the oddest thing we'd talk about today, but glad Limp Bizkit is putting music out, huh?
I can keep going
Yeah.
if you want. It only
He's talking
gets
about the
weirder.
booby hole.
Sorry to say, but ain't nothing can fix it, and you should play a forest because your audience is crickets. He never lost it.
Damn, bars.
Well, you can't lose it if you never had it. Listen, Ben and Dan, did you guys see the trailer for Janina's show?
You're talking about the new show on GiantBomb.com?
Yes.
From
It's called
You're talking about Real Layers?
Yeah, did you guys
course.
check that out just now?
Brian with a Y. Brian Stills.
Yeah, Brian Stills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
I've been a
Styles.
Brian Stills follower for a while now. I'm really excited. I
Yeah.
like kind of freaked out. I kind of had like a little nerd panic attack.
Amazing
hearing
content drop. Yeah, couldn't believe it.
Yes, that'll happen after the show. We're going to air the first episode of that. That's Janina Gavankar's new show, executive producing new show. So if you're not watching live, that's going to be up on the website to check out.
She's not
Movies.
hosting it. Thought she was. You guys made a big deal about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think she knows this, right? Like, I was under the impression that that's what it was going to have in some capacity, but it sounds like
She's executive producing it, so she could pop
look,
in.
and that's what it comes down to.
It's like hosting it in the fact that you're bringing it to life. It's like child. It's like she's birthing.
It's just weird. It's just weird that we kind of agreed on one thing, but it went in a different sort of direction. And I just want to get that out there before people watch it. Is all I'm saying. I mean, I just want to be honest. I just want to be honest with that, putting that out there.
Okay, great. Well, let's
games.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jan.
I have been playing 2 games that one of them does not sound real, and I forget the whole name of one of them. One is Voice of Cards.
Just made up. You made that up.
No, I did not make it up. I swear. Voice of Cards. It's another weird release. I say weird in in the nicest way possible. Interesting release from Square Enix, where it's basically like you slay the spire. It's a card game. You have a party of 3. You have like a sword dude, a dragon thing, and then a spell lady, and the whole thing is cards. It's kind of treated like a board game where you move like a little chess piece around a board, and then you're revealing more cards as you go by, because everything's face down. And I'm pretty sure I wound up turning it on mute after a while, but I think everything's voice acted.
I was gonna say, like, wait, if the Voice of Cards and you muted it, like I was just about to ask, do the cards talk?
Everyone talks. I think I was trying to listen to something else at the same time. My bad. Might be. But the voice of the cards is a wonderful narrator that I can't tell if he's hamming it up on purpose or if like that's just the vibe of the game, because our boy Yoko Taro has his hands shuffling around these cards. I'm still fairly early in. I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch, but I think it's on PlayStation and Steam. And for a kind of a bare bones light game where you're just moving a chess piece around and you're doing card stuff, it kind of takes a while to load on the Switch, which is a little bit of a bummer. But the general flow of combat is you're going, it's like an RPG. You're going from point A to point B, side quests in between, and there's random encounters as you're traversing the map, which is just a bunch of cards. And it's a party system kind of similar to Steam World Quest from a couple of years ago, where each character has their own specific set of moves, and you have a jewel bar or like a mana bar that is filling up with counters each time as each turn passes. So each character has an attack that doesn't use anything, so you can save your mana, but they also have spells or attacks or abilities that will expend that mana. You have up to 10. It's interesting so far. I think the only thing kind of putting me off about it is the movement is so dang slow because you're a little chess piece and it's not running the best on the Switch.
Oh, wow. This feels like it's a Mad Libs of last week. It's like,
yeah.
What? It's because this is
What's
also
going on
Square
with Square?
Enix.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Did they have like did they have an Amnesia Fortnight like Double Fine style, and at the end of it just said like "fuck it, publish the games"? Like,
yeah. I don't know, but I'm kind of here with it because like this means it can only potentially get weirder. People in the chat are sounding off that
You're getting paid by Square.
I'm not.
are you making these games?
Well, guys,
Is this a deal to get Kingdom Hearts back?
Kingdom Hearts is going to come back whether we like it or not. It's just like bad weather.
It'll outlive us all.
It'll outlive us all. But
Gross.
it's fairly interesting. When I don't know if it's a pre-order bonus or because I got it like day of release, but it dumps like a bunch of Nier related DLC. So I have like some cool decks that are near themed and whatnot. Because Yoko Taro is attached to it, I keep thinking, all right, where's the twist going to happen? When is this going to become a shmup? And these cards are going to start shooting other little cards. But
you got to finish it like 19 times to really understand what's going on. At the end, it deletes your save.
Once
Like,
you shuffle your deck 26 times, you will see the true deck of cards.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty bare bones as like one of those card battle games, except this is a more linear experience than something like Slay the Spire or Griftlands. I just wish it ran a little bit better, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me, and the Switch is getting old because the Switch is old now.
I mean, it's a game made by Square Enix. You'd hope it would run good.
You would
Like,
hope. You would hope.
It's not some indie little thing. That's a shame.
Yeah. But I've been enjoying it so far. Something else I brought up last week that Ben, you've started to check out is Dungeon Encounters.
Yeah, that's right. I have to admit, last week when it got compared to Rogue, the OG Rogue, it definitely perked my interest. And yeah, so, Jan did a really good job of kind of setting up the premise of this game last week. You can go back and listen to that. Really, basically, though, it's a very stripped down JRPG. It is a JRPG without a story. I mean, there's like 2 title cards of story. Yeah, there's a premise, a text premise. There's a big labyrinth. We got to go get down it because the guy's there. The visuals, very, very stripped down. It's just a grid you're traversing, and it's got an active battle system. You're whittling down defense, physical defense or magic defense, so you can do HP damage. And I was kind of enjoying it. I was into it. I've made it about 18 floors deep at this point, which is, I don't know, maybe 12 hours or so of gameplay. And it really got its hooks in me when I realized the first kind of 10 floors of the game really serve as a tutorial, because the game itself does not tell you a lot of things. My only problem when I started out with this game is like, there's all sorts of status ailments like petrification and poison and stuff like that the game doesn't really do a good job of telling you. Like, one of your party members will become petrified, and then you'll be like, okay, well, how do I heal him? I know there's healing fountains on every floor. Let me go find a healing fountain, but you can't move. And so you're like, oh, petrified party members have to be dropped on the spot. Then I need to go find a petrification system, use that, come back, grab my party member. So like, it really is a game about discovery, literally in terms of they will do things like fun little stuff like, here's a riddle, and it'll give you coordinates it'll give you coordinates if you solve the riddle. And then if you go to that specific spot, like floor, it'll give you like 6, 14, 33. And if you go to floor 6 and then you go to like 13X and 33Y, you'll find a treasure. And there's a lot of little stuff like that that's really fun. For having such a simple battle system, I'm constantly surprised by the different effects and stuff they start to layer in. For those first 10 floors, you're really only dealing with like physical and magical damage, and then you start getting the opportunity to dish back some of those status effects on enemies and stuff like that, so you can deal petrification and stuff. And I'm just constantly surprised by the amount of depth I am finding in this game, because it's I don't know, it's easy to look at a game like this and be like, oh, this is kind of a cheap, like, small team, probably
Totally.
small budget, probably like whatever, passion project, whatever. Like, I don't know how this game was created, but the fact that they don't have the visuals, the story, the stuff like that, a lot of animation, let them really kind of dial down to an intriguing system of mechanics, right? It's definitely like a mechanics first thing, and honestly, it's what I want from a JRPG right now. I like JRPGs, but go ahead.
No, yeah. I was gonna say that because I think I've tried to get into like 4 different JRPGs this year, and then the only one to successfully kind of like stick its teeth into me and hold me for an extended period of time has been Tales of Arise, and that's mostly just because like, God, with most JRPGs, there's such a long wind up to get to like the meat of the sandwich, I guess.
Yes.
Unless you're surrounded by meat, like you know,
Right.
Roger that.
we are today.
This game is the double down of JRPGs.
Stick it on the
Because
box.
you get into the
I'm not
meat
sure
right
that's-
away.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Selling me on it.
Very fair, very fair.
Do you think you would like it more? I mean, do you think that as a jumping off point, like what if they came back and said like, hey, we've taken these systems and these mechanics and now we have fleshed out all of the bells and whistles around it and now it's got 20-minute summon animations and a fucking huge bevy of cutscenes and all this other stuff. Do you think that makes the game better or worse?
I think it'd have to be a different game. They couldn't
think
call
it
this.
necessarily makes it.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't call it Dungeon Encounters 2 because
Sure.
it's Dungeon Encounters, like fucking
You call it like
fake
dungeon
shoot game, like, you know, it's-
Orpheum.
Lost in Ocean.
Yeah.
Select quest.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think. In fact, I think. So I like the game. I'm gonna stick with it. Not 100% sure if I'm committed to beating it or anything, but I do have some slight issues with it. And this is just a me thing, and I think of how I was introduced to it. I assumed that it was all randomly generated. Because it
Is it
does
not?
very much. It is not. The floors are static. The enemy placements are randomized, and so if you like go down a floor and come back up a floor, all the placements of the enemies are going to be randomized, but the location of all the events, the location of hidden items and stuff like that is static. The number of floors in the game is static. And so knowing that it's like, it is not like, I just thought I was having like a really good first run, right? Like, I'm just like, oh, this is cool. And like, maybe I'll get a new party member or a new like team when I wipe and, or whatever. But like, it led me to realize like, oh wait, like when you create your first party, you have a pool of like 10 or so characters and you choose 4 of them. And when you're starting out, you don't really know what any of the stats or attacks or anything they have mean. So you just kind of grab whoever looks cool. Like I grabbed a big panther looking man.
Yep,
and,
same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Panther Man.
Yeah, like an old guy. I'm like, that guy looks like he can do
I
good
picked the
magic 'cause
same
he's
guy.
old.
Yep.
Wait, does he look like a drunk old guy or like a wise old guy or both?
He's
Like
got
what?
both?
both. He's got like a beard, but it's a little unkempt, but it's still like cool.
But his
and
hair, he has
stylish.
long old hair that's slicked back.
Yeah.
So he's cool.
Yeah. But like you realize after you start playing that the stats and stuff don't really mean anything. It's like the only stat that really matters is speed because that's how fast your ATB gauge fills up. But other than that, all the stats are in the weapons, and so it becomes a sort of inventory management thing more than when your characters level up. The only thing that's really leveling up about them is their HP and their PP, which is. Everyone knows about your PP.
Of course.
It is.
Are you singing the Limp Bizkit song too?
Everybody gets it.
No. Of course, the PP is how many items you can equip. Because each item has like a PP cost. So the PP cost of like the mega high damaging magic spell will be a lot higher of the PP cost of the lower damaging spell. So it becomes a thing of like how many defensive items do I want equipped? Like. You can equip up to 2 weapons. Do I want like this glass cannon kind of character that has 2 really strong attacks and maybe lower defense? And
See, that's not what I thought PP was going to be. I figured it was just going to be mana.
right, yeah,
HP and PP.
but
Like,
there's
okay, you get
no
spells and you
PP.
cast mana. Okay.
Yeah, there's no mana at all. You just do your attack and they do their attack. Yeah, so I am enjoying it. I think I've seen a lot of what the game has to offer at this point. I'll play some more hours.
Yeah.
We'll see, but. It's cool. It's like a neat little like one of those games where you're like, I'm glad this got made. Like it's obviously not going to be for everyone, but they took a crack at something, and they were probably able to pitch it, as like, hey, we're not going to need a lot of money. We're not going to need animation and blah 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 and voice acting and all this other shit. Like we can knock this out with whatever. Like
Yeah, I think Rory mentioned when we were playing it on UPF that like the main guy behind Final Fantasy 12 is also like a big player in this game, which is kind of wild.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, when Square is making these games, whether it's, whatever Final Fantasy or just like, kind of people making a console style RPG in this day and age, like, is there a team, like, obviously you've got your art team that's like, we need a 20-minute summon, this dragon needs to look sick.
Yeah.
But then you do have that team that's just like, no, we need to make sure the numbers check out. We need to make sure that this battle system works, and we don't care about the art right now. Like, is there some version of like Final Fantasy VII lost time because Square probably didn't save its source code that just kind of looks a little bit like this game in a way of just like, it's just the numbers. It's like, okay, we need to just play test this and make sure that it's actually fun and good and these encounters make sense.
I would legit be down
them.
for like a stripped down RPG experience. Like, just show me the numbers going up.
Let me tell you about Progress Quest.
And then like maybe it's a toggle, right? You can switch back and forth in Halo between the graphics and the old graphics. Just give me like the stripped down game and then like everything else.
Well, they did that because they'll do like the mobile version. There's like the mobile version of Final Fantasy 15, 14. One of them, not 14, but like they did a mobile version of it that was like kind of stripped down gameplay or stripped down visually, but like trying to do something similar to the console version's gameplay or whatever it was.
Don't tell me this.
Yeah, I don't get in there. Give it a go.
I'm still playing World Flipper. I wanted to let everyone know.
I get notifications from World Flipper, and every day I think like I should maybe uninstall this or open it up to get the free thing they're telling me I get if I open it up.
I've just been getting the free thing. I haven't actually been playing it. Yeah. Dungeon Encounters, Ben. Is that all? Is that all?
Yeah.
All right.
I like the music actually quite a bit.
Music
That's
is
one
really
thing
good.
That they didn't strip down.
Yeah. Speaking about things that we've talked about previously on the Bombcast, Danny, you've been playing Inscription.
Yeah,
I can never spell this properly.
No one can.
Crypt, baby. There's a crypt. Inscription. Get it? There we go. Yeah, so you guys talked about this the week I was at. And I think I was talking to Bacalar about it before the show. There's like a second wave of sort of like the folks who didn't play it when the first release humdrum around it happened. And I'm part of the second wave of people who are like, okay, enough people have been tweeting and posting on Reddit about this thing. I should check it out.
It's definitely been like that, like social, like I saw a lot of people talking about it right around release time. And then it kind of, there's a lot of other big games coming out. So kind of, and now you're right. There's definitely like, everyone's streaming Inscription and doing all this stuff again. Like, what the hell happened?
It kind of reminds me of like Loop Heroes Rise and Fall and Rise back from earlier this year, which was this year. It kind of freaks me out to think about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I am just completely besotted with, like, this is like already in the Game of the Year conversation. It's so fucking good. And I think that thing I wanted to the thing I wanted to like put across was that I'm not somebody who plays card games like I'm not like a card game fanatic. I don't.
Yeah, this is how we all talk about it. Us people who don't play the card games.
Yeah,
and it's like it's closer to like a Lucas Pope game for me. It's like an indie game made by a singular like creator who has like a vision. Because I never played Pony Island or any of that sort of stuff. I'm just like, same as you guys. I'm absolutely enthralled by it. It's like so good. And I think I haven't even gotten to the crazy stuff yet. But like even everything I've seen so far has been amazing. And it's the same problem I have with Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye, which I've been playing a bunch of. Both of these things I'm just like, go play them. I don't want to tell you anything about these games, but just go play them. So
I think that's the reason
blast with it.
You hear the kind of talk around the game die down is as people start to finish it, they're like, oh, okay, I can't talk about any of this because I don't want to ruin this for anyone.
Yeah. One thing I do want to talk about with Inscription is the kind of like sacrificing of the sigils, right, to feed into other cards. I wound up doing a really good run because I sacrificed the sigil on the Mantis God, and the Mantis God attacks like three ways. So it's in front of you, and then because there's 4 card lanes, so it's left, right, and then center. I wound up slapping it onto a card that was a cheap summoning cost, and it wound up doing like 4 damage each because I kept upgrading it at campfires. And then I wound up just rolling into encounters and just doing like a one-hit KO, and then just breezing through until the game decided to slap me in the face.
Dude, my current strat is to try and gain as few cards as possible, because sitting in my deck is one of the like whatever sacrifice cards that I built myself, which is a 1 cost, 1 like blood cost, and it has 7 damage and 7 health.
Jesus Christ.
So it just finishes fucking games. If I get that on the table, done. Next fight. So it's just like an absolute. And so I keep like tweaking so I get, you know, buffs where I can pick from the cards or do something. Or just wait it out a little bit with some toads and then drop Brutus, I call them. Drop Brutus on the board and finish the fucking thing. It's great.
Sick. Love
See,
cards.
like honestly, you had me. I was like, well, and I am gonna have to play some Inscription. Like,
You gotta play
by
it.
law
It's-
at some point. I have to touch it.
Yeah.
But like everything you said there about like my card that costs this and has this damage and this health was like, oh right, it's a card game. I super don't want to play this.
It's like if I told you about the Obra Dinn, but I said it's a detective game and you're going into rooms and when you vocalize it sounds so shitty. And I spent the first 10 minutes of this game being like, I really don't want to play a card game. But like you're like, oh, this isn't really a card. Like there's a card game in it, and it's actually a really good one for somebody like me who doesn't care about card games. But also all the stuff around it is like worth the cost of just give it a go.
Yeah, I also became attached to certain cards.
Yes.
Because some will talk back to you, and it's fun little flavor text.
So what is the voice of
Love
cards here? How do they?
Oh my god, the voices, like the audio design in this game is like one of the smartest things. The UI and everything, the way everything like shifts and tilts and moves just a little bit, like how he did all that is just unbelievable. But the voice work is like the guy who you're playing against. Just I don't know, it's like a bassoon or something or a double bass that's been tuned weird, and it's so evocative. So it just comes up as text, but it's like. Yeah, I'm like Fieldy here, slapping my bass.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, God.
It's so good. Like all the little bits of audio that they do is like the voice work, quote unquote, is like so smart. It's just like it's somebody designing a game who is at the top of their game. Like it's so smart.
That being said, I feel really dumb playing the bits of that game that are not the card game. It's hit stumbling blocks multiple times. Another thing I'm playing is Super Robot Wars 30.
Ooh.
'Cause it's
30.
the
That's already
30th.
a game. There's
Oh,
no
wow.
way that's a
Nope, it's a
video
game. It's a game. I'm not making stuff up. I'm
Yeah,
not.
It's a
making up a video.
franchise.
Jan,
It's a
there's not a lot
franchise,
of.
dog.
No, it's made up. It's not real.
I
Space Marine battle, man. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
No, it's
a
called
game
Earth
too.
Defense Force. Okay, and we don't like it. All right.
Super Robot Wars 30, which I believe is the first of the franchise to come out here out west.
If not then it's definitely one of. This is one of those franchises that like there was always someone in the GameSpot office back in the day that was like, no, these games are amazing, but none of it's in English. And so but no, it's got all the Gundams in it. And then it's got all the Mazinger Z's and all the, whatever other like anime robots that they could find a way to put in there. And, you get them on the GBA. So then they'd be like SD. So you get like your super deformed Robot Wars,
Little chibi ones.
yeah, and all that sort of stuff, and so it's just one of those franchises that has been kicking around forever, and I was shocked. It's so crazy to see the press release for this to be like, hey, Super Robot Wars 30 is out, and you're like, oh, okay, all right, that's obviously a Switch exclusive, and they're like, it's only on the PC.
Yeah.
Video game, the business got weird. That's fucking crazy.
Bandai exclusively putting this out on PC is a wild move. But yeah, the game is odd. So on its face, it's a tactics game. You start the game by choosing between like the male or female protagonist, and then you choose whether or not you want to start on I think Earth or just start up straight up in space. And that just adjusts where in the story you get dropped into. But they could not have picked more of a douchebag-looking guy as the dude protagonist. And of course, it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, there's an empty mech. I'm going to jump in and pilot it. And the default name they give you is Edge. Edge?
Yeah.
And Edge is only good as a name if you're a professional
The ultimate
wrestler.
opportunist.
Yes, or someone about to pilot a mech. And it's funny because there's so much flash and pizzazz, but like the in-game, not cinematics, dialogue stuff, it's all silent. There's no voice acting, not even any like vocal beep, 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 beep stuff. It's just like that. And they have these weird like end brackets at the end of each dialogue segment, which makes me think, are they just saying this in their head? No, they're talking to each other. Okay, whatever.
All right. They spent all the money on the licensing.
Yes.
Well, actually, I mean, if it's Bandai, but I guess now that it's Bandai Namco, I wonder how many of those things are just internal licenses for them.
Yeah, maybe. Because
that was always the discussion. Is like, you know, when they talked about bringing it to the U.S. or not bringing it to the U.S., it was just like the cost of getting all the licenses together into one game was, you know, restrictive.
Yeah, because they name drop some people like a Lelouch, because I believe the Code Geass robots are in this game, as well as a bunch of the Gundams. And, you know, I'm not as familiar with the franchise because maybe there's 30 of these games and I don't know. But there's a fuck ton of robots in this game because when you start this game, it's a tactics style game. So you're dumped onto a tile set and then you have this neat looking robot and you're doing your thing. And then suddenly out of nowhere, a little child, an actual little child, pops up in a Gundam. It's like, what's up, bro? I can help you out. And then you're teaming up with them. And then the other people you were talking to pop up on like a Star Destroyer royal looking spaceship. And then so it's now you and your rogue robot that kind of looks like it is from Code Geass, a Gundam piloted by a little child and like a space thing, and then like a whole fleet of people on a spaceship. And it's wild because, you know, the battle segments are kind of fully animated and you have the option to like let them play out, and there's dialogue between them where your main dude or the little kid in the Gundam will be yelling at the top of their lungs like this is their final dying breath of like, I'm gonna use this, send you to the guillotine. And then like that's the little kid saying it. And then the random enemy soldiers going like, no, not the guillotine. And then he explodes and he's dead. Or you have the option to just skip all the cinematics completely, because when you're at the tile set with your robots, they look like tiny little kid SD Gundam miniatures. Mm-hmm. They look super chibi, but they're being piloted by all these super serious people. And I love that they just give you the option to skip it, and they'll just animate. They won't even fully animate. They'll just hop up and down of like, oh, I missed. Boop, 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 boop. I hit you. And then there's like a absolute obscene amount of numbers popping off because each attack costs something. If you're using a firearm, it costs ammo, and then there's like action points. And then this is another game where it just dumps you into the systems, because one of the tooltips for like the first encounter was, hey, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just keep playing. We'll eventually explain something to you. Which I think is great. Like there's the story. It's like I'm not taking it too seriously as of right now, just because it's like the early goings on. But they're just dumping characters left and right. And now there's like 2 more robots on my squad that look vaguely familiar. That might be from an existing property, or if it's not, an OG to the Super Robot Wars crew. But I'm scared that I'm enjoying it. I'm scared.
You don't need to be scared.
You want to be really scared. Okay, you joke about 30, about this being Super Robot Wars 30. There are close to 70 entries in this franchise.
Wow,
on the Giant Bomb franchise page.
Are
they mostly in Japan? Like
yes.
Did they have a dodgeball for Super Nintendo or Game Boy? Was that the Robot Wars I'm thinking of?
I don't know if that's necessarily part of this franchise, but yes, there was like a Gundam. There was some kind of Gundam dodgeball thing at some point, and that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah, if you look at the trailer for this on Steam, it's just like a who's who of like, hey, I kind of know that robot. That looks like a Gundam. That looks like that other show that's not Gundam. And yeah, I would assume like the licensing for this, unless everything is owned by Bandai Namco now, would be a nightmare, and that's why it's taken a while to come out to the West.
Yeah.
But I kind of really, really like it for how odd it is. These
That's
robots.
awesome that someone can come to it fresh and still get something out of it. Because I mean, literally, like the first one of these games was '91, so it's the 30-year anniversary of
Wow.
The release of Super Robot Wars or Super Robot Tyson on the fucking Game Boy.
Game Boy.
Game Boy.
Do you know if that was
that's
also like
the other thing is like a lot of these games have been handheld games. So
Do you know if those original ones were they also tactics style games, or was it just like
I
RPG?
believe it
party?
has always been this style of tactics. I want to say that and obviously I haven't seen most of the 70-ish games in the franchise, but I feel like every time I would peek over someone's shoulder holding a fucking Game Boy or GBA or whatever, it was always just some tactics and just look at it and go like, man, tactics.
This is right up my alley then. Oh no, I can't play all 70.
Like, this is where some of it came from, man. 91.
I know. I'm just as old as this game. Oh God. Well, that's Super Robot Wars 30. I'm gonna put some more time in it. Look forward to a quick look soon as I can wrap my mind around all these robots. Jeffs, y'all been playing anything? Have the time
Yes.
to do so?
Not
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay. Ooh, he's spooky. Halloween's over, Gersman.
Someone's
Whoa,
playing GTA
whoa.
14.
That's right.
Man, shut the
Listen to that
Come
Dre
on, bro.
track.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Do you think you think Limp Bizkit's gonna make it onto GTA 6?
He's gonna be in the game.
I hope that like Fred Durst just has the DJ of a station or something at that point. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like that's.
I mean, he's a
where
respected
he's
director at this
headed.
point, so like, why not
Yeah.
get him
True,
involved in
too.
the production?
exactly.
Be the new Laszlo.
Yeah, I mean Laszlo skipped town, right? So if those guys are out, you need someone to come in and do the imaging for all the stations and stuff. So why not Fred Durst?
Let the Safdie Bros make a GTA movie. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't need to
Yeah.
manifest that. You didn't need
Yeah,
to put
come
that
on,
out into the
like-
world.
What?
Well,
I
I'm
played a
sorry.
little bit more
I'm a
of,
criminal now.
Yeah, you're in movie jail. I
content
played
criminal.
I played a little bit more of Forgive Me Father after we rocked it on the last UPF. That was the first person like doomy sort of.
Oh
very
yeah,
strange-
this looks really cool.
Yeah. I'm having fun with it. It's still in early access, so like sometimes it feels like it's skipping you around and maybe not exactly going from A to B. But I'll also say I hit a lot of real solid brick walls on that UPF playthrough we did, and there's a lot of that. So that could be the early part of the access that maybe needs to be sweetened a little bit. But I'm having a good time with it. It has a look about it, and yeah.
Sure does.
Jeff.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've been fooling with Proteus a little bit here and there, but but
hell yeah, dude.
we'll talk about
snagged that.
more games next week probably.
Mysterious.
But yeah.
There's
but
some
yeah,
shit.
Proteus.
There's some shit.
Similar to
Proteus,
Forgive Me Father, like
yeah.
Proteus, the classically the first-person shooter that is designed to look like an old first-person shooter. Feels real good. It's got a map editor and community maps in there now, so you can play people's remakes of E1M1.
I played it
nice
when it
one.
launched. How is the community stuff around that doing? Because it didn't really have much because it just launched.
It seems like it has a ton of maps in there, but I didn't necessarily dig deep into it. I must have been playing the campaign, which the last update, they're still in early access, but like the last update they had, I guess, was meant to flesh out the campaign a little bit more. So I'm about 3 or 4 levels into that.
I should go back to that.
And
Yeah.
it's just got a great feel to it. The weapons are nice. Like it doesn't look too fake old. It's like the right level of fake old, but still modern. I think they hit a really good sweet spot there with that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's Proteus with a D, not Proteus with a T. Very different game. Very different game.
And unlike Time.is, its font work needs a lot of work.
Yes, it has the font of a mobile game. Like it definitely it's like just big plain font that's like, whoa, did you make this for a touch screen? What were you doing? What the
Yeah,
hell's
it
going on?
just seems like
but hey, it's
it
early
was
access.
not
They've got time to go license a
included.
font somewhere. I don't know.
In the executable.
Real
or something.
G's, I
It's
hear, is
just
a hot font these days. Get that.
Just put Husky Stash
Hell
in there.
yeah.
Happiest guy.
Yeah.
All right. Unless y'all got any more games that we can talk about, I was thinking maybe we should take a break.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Take a break. Also, just wanted to mention, I've been playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on top of the other 50 million games we're also playing in prep for the end of the year. And boy, howdy, I think I could have been a lawyer sometime. I could still be a lawyer, but maybe I could be a real lawyer.
You could use
Let's fade to black.
the reverse
just,
Chamorro.
yeah, just bring that game in and say, like, I'm ready to take the bar. And they'll be like, oh, you don't have to take it. Did you
I'm-
finish
you
it?
can
Just
You're
you
in.
can just take the bar, right? Like you don't have to
That
like
is the bar. That game
Yeah.
is the bar.
boom. All right, let's go to break.
Grubhub. That's right. We're talking Grubhub. What does Grubhub do? Grubhub serves restaurants. What do? You eat food. I mean, honestly, sometimes you prepare that food. Sometimes you don't have time. Sometimes you're working on something. You're elbow deep in, a project, and you're not gonna have time to make some food. Grubhub is there for you. Because Grubhub is there for restaurants. They're not going to let the restaurants have a bad experience. They're not going to deliver it poorly to you so that you think the restaurant is bad. Grubhub is trying to be the good middleman to make this happen. They're working hard to serve restaurants so that they can work hard to serve you. And speaking of getting served, today Grubhub's doing something a little bit extra to serve Panera. Get a free delivery perk on your first order from Panera of $15 or more. You can order through the Grubhub app or online. Grubhub, we serve restaurants. Good health starts with good habits. That's why there's Quip. Quip makes it easy by delivering all of the oral care essentials you need to care for your mouth right to your door. Starting with the Quip electric toothbrush. That's right, the electric toothbrush is loved by over 7 million mouths. That's a lot of mouths. That's a lot of mouth love happening right there. Timed sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to help you know, like, oh, okay, I'm done with this quadrant of the mouth. Now I move over to this quadrant of the mouth, and make sure that you're evenly spreading that cleaning around. Too often people forget to get the back teeth, or they don't get the top teeth, or you just get distracted. These pulses are there to let you know, like, okay, time to move on. It's got a lightweight, sleek design, good for adults or kids. No wires, not a bulky charger, but it's got a multi-use travel cover that you can use as a mirror mount. Not a lot of clutter. That's nice, right? Reusable handles in a range of sleek metal hues, including best-selling all black and all pink, as well as bright plastic colors, sure to make a pop to your bathroom counter. On top of brushing, you can upgrade your Quip with a new smart motor to track and improve your brushing with the free Quip app. And if you're using that Quip app, you can earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and more. That's like a bonus you get the bonus of a clean mouth, and then the bonus of a bonus on top of that bonus. That's a lot of bonus. Plus, Quip has more than that. You can get anti-cavity toothpaste in mint or watermelon from them. You can get 2 different types of floss, a floss string that expands to clean, or a reusable floss pick that replaces over 180 disposable picks with every refill. They've got sugar-free gum, they got a refillable mouthwash, all that stuff they can deliver straight to your door. In addition to the brush heads that you'll need to kind of, keep your Quip toothbrush up and quipping hard, quipping long. So that's it. The brush head, fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, gum refill every 3 months from $5, depending on what you're looking for. The shipping is free, so you can save money and skip all the problems of going to buy stuff in a store. Ugh. With stylish and affordable electric brushes starting at just $25, you won't be paying through the teeth for better oral health. Wow. If you go to getquip.com/bombcast right now, you'll get your first refill for free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/bombcast. Let's spell it out. GETQUIP.com/bombcast. That's from Quip, the Good Habits Company.
Welcome back to the Giant Bombcast, episode 710. Ben Pack, don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like you would be a fantastic newsboy yelling at people to come get your papers. Come get your papers. You'd wear like
Read
this
all
style
about
hat. You'd look really great with like a crossbody tote bag.
So I could get like that
That'd be great.
newspaper way up there in the air above
Yep.
the heads of the crowd, you know?
Yep. You could
What would your
toss
slogan
one.
be? What would your slogan be? What would you shout?
And imagine there was like a 15-second stinger that would play underneath it that you would that would whenever you talk about the news.
What year
This
is this?
just in. I got the news.
I feel like news people need to sound
the
a little
point.
bit more confident in what they are preaching, what they are.
Well,
barking.
Ben is selling the papers.
You know,
Just selling
it's my
papers on a
first day
corner.
as
You
a
don't know,
newsboy. Bacalar, it's my first day.
Newsboys
so if
can't
you would have a
read.
little
They're
bit of
standing on a
patience
corner
with
going,
me-
extra, extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Read all about it.
Child labor. It's just
Yeah.
yeah. There's a guy in
Extra.
Cork, in the town I lived in for a while, who the local paper was called the Echo, the Evening Echo. So he would just stand on the corner shouting "Echo" for like hours at a time, and tourists would be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" He's
Yeah,
just like,
that's
"There's
pretty
no
wild.
echo here. You're outside."
Yeah, you
maniac."
dumbass.
That was a good one, Ben. I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's,
Now repeat it 1,000
what
times.
they teach you when you get your bachelor's degree in journalism, like I do have. Breaking
You
news.
just came from your ceremony,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I got my diploma from that guy. Breaking news, guys. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Jan,
okay.
I'm so sorry,
Wait,
but they're shutting down Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
is this the RPG game they were?
No,
that had-
this was Niantic's
Oh!
Harry Potter game.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
remember?
Oh,
Remember that?
Oh no!
I know, dude, you're devastated.
The mobile game that was too complicated to be a mobile game because people complained that Pokemon Go was too easy. I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
me and my, I like Harry Potter, but I can't even remember a single thing from Harry Potter.
Muggle.
Sure,
I guess
It's,
it's not.
they're wizards.
Excuse me?
The wizards shit
Mudblood.
wherever because they just make it disappear.
McGonagalls.
Yeah.
yeah, all your McGonagalls.
Wait, that's not a part of Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, they shit
McGonagall.
wherever
Yeah.
and they can make it disappear. There's no bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got added.
Moaning Myrtle, why does she live in a
I
bathroom
called
then?
that one.
I
People are
don't
just sickos.
believe you.
No,
Are you a
she's
sicko?
straight up
If you're a
retconned that
wizard-
she uses magic to make the poop go away.
Oh, really? But if
That's their
you're
sewer
you can
system?
still shit, right? There are wizards who they all can still shit. So do you
There's
think
probably
like
some
within the
wizards who
wizarding
still-
world, they like
That's
they
so
like there's
fucking
like
stupid.
sickos who still sick who still like poo and pee and don't make it disappear because they just love it.
Why
think
would you even shit? Why wouldn't you just make it disappear inside you? Like,
'Cause it
why
feels
even
good,
have
man.
it come out?
Because
Well,
it feels good.
Yeah,
We're all friends
I'm with
here.
Danny.
I mean,
I'm with Danny.
We're all
that's-
friends here.
Hey, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good
Chefs
feeling.
go to a restaurant and they cook all day, and then they get home and they don't want to like cook themselves a big fancy meal. I imagine wizards are out wizarding all day, and they get home and it's just like, no, I'm going to let nature take its course on this
I'm
one.
not
Just
buying it.
sit on the toilet,
I'm
read
not
my
buying it.
newspaper.
You don't want to
Play Flip
unflush
of the Fire.
toilet. That's gonna cause
You don't have to
some
poop
plumbing
to sit on a
issues.
toilet. You could just sit there. Just for fun.
Yeah.
Where would
You know,
you
you gotta
poop?
catch up on some internet or something, you know.
Where would you poop if you knew you could get rid of it immediately? Where would you
everywhere? Driving.
Yeah,
Oh
where
my
do
My
god.
pants.
Oh my god, driving.
pants.
In my
Cycling.
pants. It doesn't matter. Literally anywhere. I wouldn't even think about it. I would shit and walk at the same time.
Yeah, I would shit and run at the same time like that CKY thing. That's in clear
I would
underpants.
sit there. I would, like, here's the thing. It would be actually horrific because even when you got those like hot shits that are real bad and uncomfortable and you want to be alone
Hot
for,
shit.
you have to
Yeah.
experience that at the dinner table, on the bench of the ice hockey game, and just being there rocking back and forth. But it is disappearing, so it's not tragic.
Yeah, but you're still making the face. You're still making
Yeah.
the like. I have the runs, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm
So maybe you
dropping,
do
like-
have to be private for that. I don't know if I have to go in the bathroom for it, but you get
You
my
could put like
point.
maybe they have pooping masks. Maybe wizards have like pooping masks they put on that are just like, like the scream mask, but underneath them they're like,
Yeah, you would have to make that noise as well. Oh my
If you're
gosh,
making that
no,
face and
thank
that
you.
noise, like you gotta like just drink more water or something. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eat an
what
apple.
you're-
You need fiber. You need fiber
Yeah,
in your diet.
Eat some greens.
It doesn't
eat
happen
some
a
greens.
lot. It's only like, maybe 3 times a
After
year.
six, maybe.
Like it's not.
Okay, yeah. No, I'd say I had one of those happen during E3. It was a disaster.
Can you know when you know the way wizards can like cancel other wizards' spells? Could you like
No.
just like someone else you know that they're doing the whole shit thing and you just like cancel it and they just shit themselves?
What I would do is I would take my poop and I would teleport it into someone else's.
Somebody else's pants.
So that they've got double
the
poop
front of their pants.
front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was
Boy,
going to
Henry,
ask.
you made me shit me front.
We changed a lot of diapers lately that are definitely dirty in the front as well, and I'm like, I don't even know how this happened, but
Okay,
Those are the worst, dude.
You
Yeah.
haze someone entering Hogwarts, and as they put on the sorting hat, you put poop in the hat,
Yeah.
and then it's like not
Sorting
only
shat.
got him.
You think that's a chocolate toad you're eating?
All right, Wizards Unite shutting down.
so they're
defeated
shutting down that Harry
That's
Potter
where
game
one-
that nobody played.
one door
Voldemort
closes, another opens because they just put out that Pikmin game, Niantic's Pikmin game. Pikmin Bloom
Yes.
just
Is
Is that a
hit,
Niantic?
so.
I didn't
They
realize.
sacrificed Harry Potter for that.
Great. No, yeah,
RIP.
that's
Yeah.
right. Sacrifice Harry Potter for more things. Sacrifice Harry Potter for a decent sandwich. Sacrifice Harry Potter for like a blank piece of paper that I can write about poop on.
Yeah.
I can tell wizard poop stories all day long.
You think a wizard ever died on the toilet?
Yes.
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 Elvis.
was
Because they didn't know how to use the toilet. They just
Yeah.
sat there angrily.
What is this muggle contraption? Oh no!
Aren't toilets like teleporters in that as well?
Yep.
Isn't there?
Yep.
So maybe
They're
they
like
thought that it
elevators.
was a teleport, but they just drowned.
Wait, I didn't realize how shit-based wizardry was.
I'm really glad I never got that
J.K.
Deathly
Rowling
Hallows
is a
tattoo.
real fucking weird fucking piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Pedophiliac, huh?
She's a real.
On top of
I
being
don't.
a
I don't
piece
like
of
the
shit.
kink shame, but like, fuck that. Yeah.
On top of being a piece of shit, that was
And this isn't an instance where a baby can tell you that you're no longer a piece of shit.
nice.
Ben, what else do
Put
we
the
got?
sorting hat on, and it said asshole.
Got him.
I only
Yeah. Well, speaking of shutting
That's why they
things
fly
down,
around on brooms because they don't need them to sweep poop.
yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, they
Yep.
definitely don't even bother making them disappear when they're flying over cities on their brooms. They're just like dropping hot knowledge.
Yeah,
on
it's
them.
like that one band bus that accidentally dumped.
DMB, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Dave
What?
Matthews Band.
or like when a frozen turd comes out of an airplane at such high altitude and then crashes. Is that
Yeah.
real
That
life? or
only
am I
happened
thinking
in
what
of
killed
Joe
Elvis.
Dirt. Yeah, that only happened in the
Okay,
in the,
JFK
in the
Jr. is
documentary.
a-
the documentary Joe
Dirt.
Dirt? All right. That's enough poop talk for now. We
this
still got voicemails
hour.
and emails coming up. But yeah, speaking of shutting things down, PAX has announced that they are officially shutting down PAX South. They put out a statement on Twitter. They cited the fact that, in 2004, they were psyched that they got 3,000 people to come out for a PAX South, which was good for them then, but then it never really kind of grew in size like East and Prime have, where you get people kind of coming from all over for those. I never went, but I know a lot of people kind of liked it because it was more laid back and smaller and more intimate, maybe.
It was great if you wanted to just go hang out in a cool town. So San Antonio seemed cool to visit and hang out and have a bunch of drinks and then see like a wax statue of John Cena as you walk past a movie theater. Hell, you're like, all right, fuck.
we all went that first year, right?
Yeah, I guess
that was a blast.
Yeah,
It was so
Yeah.
like relaxed and such a small.
Just-
yeah,
And the people who went seemed super appreciative that there was a show there at all. So it was like just a really good vibe. It was just like it was a ton of fun. We went and Dan Reichert tracked down a bar that would let us watch the Royal Rumble. And then he went and found a bingo. Like I think he brought it with him, anticipating that this was going to happen. So that people could pick 1 to 30 and then like set up some elaborate betting mechanism in a very Dan way. And I remember the bar was like, yeah, we got a PlayStation 3. We can watch wrestling here. That was the, and then but like the network was all fucked up. It was just like, it was weird. But yeah, no, it was super fun. It was a really cool hang. And I don't know that like companies and exhibitors and all that other stuff felt like they got a ton out of it. But as someone who went to do some panels and talk some shit, I had a great time. It was fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, super chill, good vibes. Yeah, fun town. There was an arcade across the road from the Alamo as well. It was pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
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 It's a shame, but
Yeah,
this
they
is
also
a-
shouted out
Sorry, go
COVID
ahead.
as a reason of compounding, right? Like they had to now miss 2 years of it in a row, and I'm sure that just added.
And you know, I mean, the company, you know, Reed, the company that runs PAX and like a bunch of the EGX or so. I think they run like a lot of stuff in the UK and Europe too, right? A bunch of event type stuff. Like I'm sure they've just been taking a beating through this whole thing. So unsurprising that this would be a thing. Because that show always seemed, it was kind of like maybe it was a little bit on the bubble even before all this. So
it had the vibe of a show that like probably paid for itself, but like nobody was really making.
yeah, it was like, here's an investment. Like we think this could be bigger. It's the right time of the year. It's a place where we don't normally run shows. Because I remember they were talking about like a Midwest type show or something. They're like, well, what if we did it in Chicago? But like they wanted to do it in this January timeframe, and that would not be a great time to go to Chicago. So you know, San Antonio made more sense than that, I guess, in that way. But yeah, you know, publishers already had so many different events to support around the calendar, and January is maybe not the best time to showcase unreleased video games because you just put them all out. Actually, maybe January is now the perfect time for all your Q1 games that got pushed out of the holiday. But yeah, it just seemed like a tricky show all around.
Yeah. Well, hopefully things will be back in healthy PAX attending fashion soon. Moving on. I need to come up with more. If you have a suggestion for a fun thing to say between news stories other than moving on, please email us at bombcast@giantbomb.com. In the meantime, moving on, Sony has formed the PlayStation PC label for its PC games push. We mentioned last week that they announced that God of War, right, was coming to Steam and PC. And Steam users had noticed that previously the PlayStation PC games were listed under the publisher of PlayStation Mobile, but now it is PlayStation PC. It's a name and a change that is technically a formality, as this article on Video Games Chronicle reports, but it's both a formality, but also a sign that maybe they are getting a little more serious about their PC publishing process. Wow, what a tongue twister. The article also shouts out that they announced that Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy will be coming to PC in 2022, along with potentially Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Yeah, that showed up in some scrape of the Steam database recently. So unknown.
Yeah, it kind of got lost in the wash as well around the launch of the console, and it's actually like pretty decent. It's not like, you know, I think
I was not a huge fan. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily terrible, but it was just kind of
Sack not big enough on that boy.
That's my biggest problem with it, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they've been putting these PC games out on the PlayStation Mobile. Like that's the technical publisher listing on Steam and other places, because it's just like was how they had built it up, how they had spread it out divisionally or something like that. So it makes sense to just rename that, because that's just so confusing. And I think it got to a point where people are like, what the fuck's going on? So they're like, all right, here, let's do this. And good. They were probably overdue to do this. I feel like when the first game they put out to PC and said PlayStation Mobile on it, it was like, all right, fix this. This is just a weird thing to slap onto your games. So yeah, cool. I don't know. The thing about all this stuff is like, this is obviously the right move for them. And, you know, they talk all about like, hey, you know, we reach a lot of people on the PlayStation platforms, but we sure would like to reach more people eventually as well. and ideally get them into the PlayStation Fold, I think is, kind of how they position it. But
In
the amount
3
of
years from now, when you still can't get a PS5, maybe you can play a couple of these PS5 games.
Yeah, just the answer now is just wait.
Right.
On both
Well,
sides.
yeah. I mean, there certainly is that. To me, like one of the most baffling. It's not baffling. It's like predictable, which is maybe even sicker. But like when the God of War stuff got announced, the like weird fanboy rage about like, I can't believe PlayStation is turning its back on us, the players, by letting dirty PC owners play our video game. And it's like,
Who the
obviously,
fuck
I'm
is
sure
that person?
like,
who
yeah,
the
that's not
fuck
some
is
majority,
that
right? It's just like,
lunatic? Yeah.
it's like fucking dipshits that spent too much time on message boards for the last 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, right? I mean, that are just like fighting for the sake of fucking fighting. Oh, for what? For fucking what? Just the saddest, sickest motherfuckers. Like,
Yes.
go fuck yourselves. And yeah, just like seeing that stuff pop back up was just like, what? They didn't take a damn thing away. It's not like those people would be off making a PlayStation game if they weren't working on this PC port of God of War.
Yeah.
It's like, just fuck off. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
But I
I've
bought
also
the right
had
one,
this
Jeff.
game.
I bought the right one. I had a consumer
Yeah.
decision to make, and I made the smart decision, and I got the PlayStation. And I hate
Okay.
Yeah.
anything that happens that makes it look like maybe that decision wasn't actually that important in the end.
Well, when people are playing God of War next year and it both has the performance and the graphical quality that the fucking other console version could not achieve, then what?
Ruh-roh.
Then fucking what?
Just drop Bloodborne. Just make everyone happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
The,
Do you
the
think
great
that's
uniter.
Right. I feel like that's like everyone wants Bloodborne at this point, but like that, I wonder if that is tangled up with like whatever From is doing, or not doing, and because they own some piece of that, or have some piece of that. It seems like something that if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now, right?
Unless the Demon Souls one greased the wheels a little bit, but it's so hard to tell.
Sure.
And there's such a
But it
close
just seems
box.
like that, like that hasn't even gotten like they didn't even do a PS4 Pro patch for Bloodborne, did they? Like there's been
know.
zero.
So.
Yeah, so there's been zero done to that game, like technically, other than patches in the DLC.
And also that Demon
Since-
Souls remaster hasn't come out in PC. Right? That's
Right.
still
Yeah, it is not.
PlayStation. No, yeah.
Yeah, so that's they should put Bloodborne out. They should do a PlayStation 5 version of Bloodborne. That'd be good too.
Please.
I know this is like bold
be nice.
for me to say, like, hey, what if they did this? But they should do that. Moving on.
Fortnite shutting down
What?
in China.
What?
What did you do, Ben?
Okay. What?
We didn't
First
say
Roblox,
make
now
news.
this.
We said just find the news. Don't make news.
Somebody was watching and turned it off after I said that, and is now running down the streets doing their best Ben Pack Newsy impression, screaming about Fortnite being shut down. No, yeah,
What
Fortnite
the fuck
shutting down in
happened?
China.
Did they put Winnie the Pooh in? What happened?
Ooh, got him. No, the thing is, it just never really took off there in a way that like PUBG did. PUBG was massive in China and still is pretty quite large. The article that was talking about it references the fact that the Chinese version of Fortnite is also quite different than the Western version. It shouts out that there's like tools in there to make things easier for people. Of course, they've edited out any references to skeletons, which they famously had to do in Dota, because of
Can't be showing skeletons, man.
laws
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
No
Halloween's
skeletons in
real
China.
fucking weird over
Yeah.
there, probably.
It's every day is a no bones day in China.
Yep.
They can't have Roller Coaster Tycoon there either because of Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. It just doesn't play.
The bones are not their money.
it's worth noting that Tencent holds the license for both PUBG and Fortnite in China, so maybe they kind of were looking at the two and were just like, we don't really need this thing anymore. PUBG's really kind of carrying us, that and the 50 million other things Tencent owns or partially
Right.
owns.
But also, they were running it as some kind of test over there, and I think the verbiage is like, "Hey, we've tested this long enough, and we're not gonna put it out in full release."
Really?
Was how they technically worded it, and I wonder if that means it got to operate without government approval, since it was in a test phase before the government really started locking that stuff down. But like the Chinese government hasn't approved a new game release in like months now,
Right.
and
Might have cost a lot of time and energy and money to kind of make it happen, and they're kind of like,
right. And if the government is straight up like not approving much of anything, then at some point you're just wasting your time. So I don't know. They're probably better off just putting those efforts into games that have already been approved and are already out there and able to be played.
Able to be played for 3 hours a week, right? Because that was another thing that
if you're under 18, there's they have regulations in place around that sort of stuff. So it's like I'm no expert on this, but it just seems like everyone was looking to China as being like this amazing, huge new market for games, and obviously the consoles are, the new consoles are out there in some capacity. But like now that you've got the government locking down on stuff in some different ways too, that I think is giving everyone a little bit of pause in terms of just like, what does it take to actually make money in China?
it's probably a great, if you're a publisher who already has market share there, maybe that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, great. No new games. Awesome. We've got fucking Honor of Kings over here.
That's what I was about to say. I had straight up never heard of Honor of Kings, but it is the biggest video game in the fucking world. Apparently,
I don't know what this is.
It is a MOBA in China. It's in other places too.
Sure.
But it is just huge. It is massive, massive, massive. It was the first game to ever reach 100 million daily players.
Daily?
Yes.
And they're making like a big AAA game based off of it as a spin-off. It's funny. It's the company that they came to Riot and were like, let us do League of Legends mobile in China. And Riot's like, fuck off. We're going to take care of it. And then now they have made the biggest video game in the world.
My family members in the Philippines, they are all about this fucking game. Actually.
So, but like the other weird thing is like that company is Teamy, the same studio that is also owned by Tencent, and Tencent has since invested in Riot. So like the tentacles and the like, if you pull apart all the stuff about like,
well, they also invested in Epic too. With
totally.
Fortnite.
But I mean, specifically with like League and with Honor of Kings, it gets even messier because like they went off and made their own game and then also invested in the company that made that game. And now, like, are they just keeping those teams completely separate and all like this? It's wild.
It's like finding out you're related to someone.
Yeah, I'll sideload Honor of Kings. I installed the Android with the Windows 11 Android stuff, and it's like super bare bones right now because the Amazon App Store on Windows 11 is just like a bunch of kids games and like the BBC podcast app.
Ooh.
And there was a way to easily sideload stuff onto Windows 11, or sideload Android APKs onto Windows 11, but the developer of that app shut it down because it wasn't quite ready yet. So that hole is closed for a little bit here. But I installed TikTok onto Windows 11, like the actual Android app, not their fucking shitty Windows Store app, and it's real broken. It's all beta shit, and it's like beta on top of beta on top of virtualization on top of beta. But I do want to see how Android games are going to run that thing. Maybe I'll dig up a Honor of Kings APK and see what happens. Anyway,
moving on.
Thank you for somebody else to say that. Dr. Dre, according to Snoop Dogg, is working on, quote, great effing music.
What is the Snoop Dogg news beat like?
It's a lot of weed. It's a lot of him getting high and talking about. Did you guys see that thing where he accidentally left himself Twitch streaming for like 9 hours? He just left the house and just went about his day. Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah,
but Snoop Dogg, hitting the news
huge
talking about
for the platform.
It was like when Drake played Fortnite with
it's exactly when Drake played Fortnite
and Kim.com for the first time. Never forget he was there too.
Do you think they all keep in touch?
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
They got fantasy football league together.
Yeah, they're on a Discord right now.
Travis Scott's
their
also
own
there.
podcast.
Drake just sending like cartoon gifs and boing noises to everybody else, and
Just the gif of him clapping over and over again to anyone's reaction. Yeah, so Dr. Dre is
and he's
working on
always
new
asking,
music
"Could
for-
someone else boost this server so I can get this as a sticker?" Because I use my 2 boosts on a different
on the
server.
Dude Drinker
So.
Discord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so, Snoop said it was for the next GTA game, but I think if we look at this article and think about what GTA Online is and what other living games like Fortnite have done with their virtual concerts, this has to be an addition for online, right? Like this isn't for a GTA 6, I would assume.
it could very well be. I mean, when you think about the timetable at which Dr. Dre makes music, and you think about the timetable at which Rockstar makes games, like they're pretty much
On the same path.
yeah. So like this could be anything from a new station in the re-release of San Andreas.
Yeah.
Which would be weird, because that's obviously like a period piece. And so, I mean, if they told Dr. Dre make a bunch of music that sounds like it fucking takes place in the San Andreas time frame, that would be fucking crazy.
That'd be cool.
He's like, that I can do.
Yeah, that I've got a vault full of that shit.
There was a couple of NWA songs in that soundtrack though, right? So I wonder,
Yeah,
maybe he could be mastering one or replacing. It's not outside possibility.
yeah. I don't know that fits the quote. If he's saying he's making great fucking music, and some of his music is connected to the GTA game that's coming out, is the quote. But GTA Online, I don't, they have added new music and stuff for online, but we're getting to that point now where I wonder if that would be big enough for a Dr. Dre release right now. Obviously that game's still big, but I just wonder, like, that feels like a more marquee thing that if you were Dr. Dre, you would not be like, yeah, I guess I'll be the next guy to do some stuff for GTA Online. I feel like you would be like, no, yeah, make me a big central part of GTA 6.
I don't know. I mean, the Travis Scott Fortnite concert was so well received and like had a ton of traction around it.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande was in Fortnite for a hot second too.
Yeah.
Odd, yeah, with her completely disfigured Switch version.
Ryu.
That's a delight if you ever
in there. That's
Ryu.
He didn't have a concert though.
Now Ryu and Ariana Grande have a one-step relationship according to the Ryu track.
the Ryu number. Yeah. Disturbing. I don't know. Like, my gut tells me this is something for like new GTA and not an online rollout, but maybe my view of GTA Online is coloring that a little bit. But
I would love a new single-player GTA experience.
Oh,
they're going to make one. They are going to make one eventually.
Remember
someday.
they were teasing like a lot for that for 5, right? Where wasn't there like a situation where I feel like there was a year or so where I was like, oh, it'll come, like it'll.
I think that was fan driven. I don't know that they said too much about it, but it was, because you look at 4, you look at the path for 4 and the single player GTA, the single player DLC that came out for that game.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were like, oh, well, this will have a similar trajectory.
Sense.
And I bet at some point they were planning that until online took off. And they probably were like, oh, this is where the money is. And we need every person we have on this right now.
Totally.
So probably just chewed that all up.
Yeah, they didn't. But when they did the trailer for 5, they announced it like 3 days before. That was the first whisper of anything. So they're not going to talk about 6 until it is ready to be shown. Didn't they mention, hey, we're working on it? Didn't they have to, like, in some earnings call or something, just say like, yes, there's a next GTA? They must be. Like, what else are they going to be working on since Red Dead 2? You know,
it's been so long, but I can't remember if the preview was ever a thing. Like, I definitely saw
5.
it before. Yeah, I remember seeing and playing
not
it
before
early.
the trailer. Anyway, not before they announced. Before they announced, nobody saw it. They didn't even put it on YouTube. Remember, they had their own website for it. Yeah,
but they definitely have a portion where there is previews. Like, I remember.
before launch, probably. Like, what was Red
Yeah,
Dead
yeah,
like?
yeah.
What did they do for Red Dead 2? Did they do a little bit of preview stuff?
Yes.
They usually do like an exclusive one, right? They'll have
Yes, it was
big
the
publication,
it was the
non-gaming.
train. It was blowing
Yeah.
up the train. That mission.
second level, like the first or second level. First level in the game, actually, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all post announcement.
Yes. Post announcement. Yeah.
And Dre has not put out music since 2015. So
Right.
I mean, he's
Too busy
certainly gone longer
making money.
than that, but right, yeah, his headphone money, or whatever.
It's his beat.
It's probably
Yeah,
in NFTs now.
his Apple money. I mean, is like he's
Yeah.
still he's still playing some role at Apple, right? I mean,
Dre
I wonder,
X,
like, so that's
Lance.
kind of the other thing is like if you think about GTA in terms of radio stations and all this other stuff, like if you could glean that from this, if like he had a show that was on Apple Music's like radio
That's right.
thing. I don't know if he still does. Maybe he does. And so is this a modern day GTA setting where they would have streaming style stations instead of just like trying to mimic FM radio? Because mimicking FM
Sirius
radio is very
XM.
like that's a period piece at that point. Even satellite radio feels like a period piece at this point.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of, like Apple Music is one of the few modern radio type of things out there, I guess, that isn't just like, hey, it's Spotify, listen to what you want to. I wonder. Anyway,
Maybe it's set in the West Coast. A whole new game. That's why they got Dr. Dre.
maybe you play as Dr. Dre.
Oh,
Cool.
All right.
He's the Johnny Silverhands of GTA.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Dr. Dre
wanna
lives in
play-
your head when he says, D. Barnes got it all wrong. And you're like, no, that's not true. You fucking monster. You piece of shit. All right.
Would you say that we're
Go
moving on?
Yeah, one could say that we are moving on.
I only want to hit this next one real quick. I think it's absolutely one of the most hilariously stupid things I've seen from a company in a minute. Ubisoft was sending out emails to Far Cry 6 players,
Oh,
and it was a big old long JPEG with old Giancarlo at the top, and it says, "Hola,
no,
bro.
Giancarlo
left
Veronini?
Ubisoft. Yeah, he left Ubisoft. He's not there anymore.
Hola, Ross.
Wait,
I wanted
did
to
he
thank
really?
you for giving me free reign in Yara. Take it easy and know that Yara is in capable hands, El Presidente." And then it says, "Surely you can do better than this." And it shows you how many hours you've played, how many kills you had, how many weapons you collected, how many stealth kills you got. And then it offers you a little bit of help. If you need help, you can, learn more and maybe, I don't know, come back and spend a little bit of money unlocking some items or something. If you want to come back in the ecosystem, you're totally welcome to come back. Yara is in trouble, dog. You need to come back and spend money to save Yara.
And they show you pictures of the dog in the game to
Show you
get
pictures
more
of the
sympathy
dog.
points.
It's
Yeah, I feel
really
like EA has been sending emails that are like in this vein, but not quite. Like it's more like, hey, we're aware you played this. It's not necessarily like we're aware you didn't finish this, and trying to like guilt people into coming back. But like the microtransactions in Far Cry 6 are the same as they've always been. Like like that game is so rotten with guns. The idea of just like I'm going to spend money on another gun is ridiculous because most of it's just like skins, I think.
people do it.
Oh, of course people do it. But yeah, I
I think it's pretty
You-
funny.
yeah, you start to
Yeah.
wonder like does this say anything about engagement with Far Cry 6? I think it was like a week or two ago they were saying like, man, that game really
Came
seems
and
like
went.
it came and went. Is that
I thought
bearing out? Because they had numbers. They were like, oh, this is the uptake on this is the greatest. Far Cry 6 is up. Assassin's Creed is up. Like in their earnings call, they were very favorable about the early Far Cry 6 numbers. But I wonder
Yeah,
if
there's a
this
report
says
here
anything about that.
from the UK saying that its digital sales are 50% down on 5. So yeah, because I bet the success of a lot of Ubisoft games is really about that tail. Because they're talking about Valhalla being the most successful property. That's probably because it's still selling. It didn't just have its moment and disappear.
And then they
So I
had like
wonder-
said like, oh, we're going to do another year of DLC for it. They're like, oh, we're just
Right.
going to support this longer. So like they kind of, they built that story on purpose almost. Yeah, I don't know. That's I had not heard that UK story, but yeah, that maybe that lines up a little bit. But they were definitely, I think they were trying to be favorable about the early numbers for Far Cry. So
the scuttlebutt
Maybe
from
it was
it does seem to be that, like, I haven't played much. My wife's on her second playthrough. She
Jeez.
goes on the Reddit and does all that, and she was like, yeah, like the general consensus seems to be that this one's, it was like fine, like, but there's not much like mad passion for it. Like some of the systems they put in, like it's very gun heavy. There's not much like, you know, kind of the way you play at the start is the way you play for most of the game. You don't have, you know, there's only a couple of like levels where you have to be stealthy. You can just kind of run and gun and
well, I think it's like, you know, it's the double-edged sword of like eliminating a lot of the skill tree stuff that they have had in the past. It's that feeling of like, well, because later, you know, in the earlier games, and I want to say probably 3 and 4, but like you get to that point where you're like, oh, now I can finally afford to buy the upgrade that lets me stealth kill the armored guys. And it's like a game changer. You're like, your stealth game completely changes.
yeah.
But if you can just kind of do a lot of that stuff out of the gate in terms of just like, oh, I can auto loot as I am stabbing. I can do this. I can do that. I can swim. I can do that, you know.
Death from
like
above.
all those, like all those sorts of things that you had to like grind for in a weird way in the previous games. Like, yeah, like the only real options you have in the game are the guns. It becomes like attachment heavy. It's like, okay, well, I want this ammo on this gun and this ammo on this gun. And I set that up in hour 1. Oh, and the pets, right? Yeah.
Because I think that Puma like makes bodies disappear, but that's the exception that proves the rule.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And they had, I think the different partners and animals and stuff like that in the previous games did have perks or some kind of unique thing about them. So even that's not necessarily purely new, but I don't know. It was a game that I like enjoyed my little bit of time with, and I did not get one of these emails, but maybe I'm.
You play too much.
You play too well.
Of a gamer.
Right.
Giancarlo's like, no, don't come back, Mr. Gersman.
That's right. That's right, motherfucker. Yeah.
Jeff, you do this next one in here.
Yeah. Moving on. New World, everyone's favorite Amazon massively multiplayer online role-playing game is back in the news. This seemed like it was like a story of, man, this game sure is doing well. Like it is still in. I think the Steam numbers for it are still looking pretty good, but the tone of the talk about it has been like, yeah, I'm still playing this, but boy, I think it's a really empty game, and boy, I think the economy is fucked, and boy, I think, you know, it's like the PvP is really dull, and a lot of systems are broken, and now there are a number of exploits in the game that has led to Amazon disabling the ability, I guess, to transfer like wealth from one player to another. I don't know what the extent of, if it's just like gold and like basic currency, or if it's any kind of like item trading, because I know the trading stuff was part of it. But I guess the upshot of it is one of the things people discovered is like certain types of HTML code will execute if you paste it into the chat. And for a while, I guess, you know, according to this Kotaku story, people were using it to just like embed images and do other stupid shit like that. And then suddenly it was like, oh, we can make it so if someone clicks on this, or if they mouse over this image, it will kick them off the server. That's fun. That's some Phantasy Star Online 1 level shit. And then I guess eventually people digging into that were like, oh, well, what if we made it so we could just like trigger the completion of a quest by clicking on something in chat? And then what if we just clicked that 1 billion times and got gold every single time, you know? So
this is awesome. This is like Counter-Strike. Like, remember those levels where you get all the Steam achievements? What was it?
Yeah.
We just load in, just like pop them. This is like that level of fuckery.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, an absolute level of fuckery. A community manager was quoted on their message boards, and Kotaku pulled that quote. It says, "We are aware of a possible gold duplication exploit that has been circling, and we are temporarily disabling all forms of wealth transfer between players, i.e. sending currency, guild treasury, trading post, player-to-player trading. Any player that is engaged in the use of this exploit will be actioned against.
Communists.
I know, right? So it's like I think like between that and just like the natural, I feel like the tone of conversation around this game as people have spent more time with it has definitely turned into just like I'm spending time with this game because WoW is bad right now, or we're between Final Fantasy expansions, or like whatever. Like the MMO player that seems to be sinking time into this game either really loves PvP. Because there hasn't really been a PvP focused MMO since maybe like Warhammer or something, or it's just people that just have nothing better to do, and so the player base seems to be dropping, and this isn't going to help it. So it was a lot of cases of like you saw animated GIFs going around of like the people jiggling trade windows to duplicate items, which is apparently one of the problems. And then just like the quote just being like, this game is dead.
Were they wiggling it so hard that it just shook off into a whole new thing?
It just shook the items. So okay, if you get Mario in just the right way and do a reverse long jump, it will jiggle the trade window such that the trade window teleports into basically like a different dimension. And so the quantum mechanics behind this is that the trade window exists in infinite dimensions, this way and this way. And so to truly speedrun New World, you need to get that trade window in the exact proper dimension to get the items.
That's how Splitgate was also made.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Oh, the more you know.
Best of luck to everyone involved in playing New World. I saw a lot of people going like, hey, did you know Steam will give you a refund on New World even if you've played 50 hours of it? Because you can just say, hey, they broke it.
Oh, that's great.
And so a lot of people are going for refunds and stuff like that.
Wow.
This is why
I don't know if a lot of people that's going around.
This is why I welcome the death of video games with NFTs, because can you imagine if you had like this type of exploitation device in a game where they were doing NFTs? You could like sink the global economy by shaking the fucking chat window enough.
Yeah, you don't need to imagine it. Like it's just imagine just that squid coin shit that happened over the last week.
Lordy.
I think just reveals the true idiocy of everyone involved in that, where they're like, oh, well, it's named after a popular show. I should speculatively invest in that because the show is hot. You deserve to get ripped off, you fucking dumbass.
It literally told you wouldn't be able to resell it. Why would you think?
Stupid motherfuckers.
It's a new world, baby.
It is a new world. But yes, then you add, I think Jeff Grubb was on Twitter yesterday talking about some of this in terms of like, you add kids accidentally getting social engineered out of items that suddenly have real worth, and you can't contact customer support and get it back because it all went through the fucking blockchain. Parents ain't going to stand for that. That's going to fucking that's another way in which anyone trying to pull that shit off will be a disaster. You saw that Mario thing where someone was trying to run a multiplayer Mario game with an NFT back end, and like the story, I think on Kotaku, I want to say it was like some people playing that game were like, we want Nintendo's lawyers to get involved because that's going to make it go underground and be super popular, and then the NFTs will be worth even more money. It's like, I don't think that's how it works.
Nobody loses in commodities markets, Jeff. Everyone, all the ships rise.
Right. Yes,
there's only winners.
As long as everyone keeps pumping each other up,
exactly,
the number will keep going up, and we're all gonna get rich, guys. Everyone in this subreddit is getting a Ferrari.
Just hold on to your squid coin. Don't sell.
Yes. Don't worry. It's going to pay out eventually. We'll figure this out. It probably is not a scam.
Delicious.
Anyway, moving on.
Quest 2 this is just a short little thing. Quest 2 has added support to decouple and delete your Facebook accounts. It's worth noting.
My what account?
Sorry.
Your Facebook.
Your Facebook account. Your Facebook. Sorry, so your Facebook.com account.
Sorry, Grandpa.
The website, Facebook.com.
Facebook.com. But
you needed one.
Well, you needed one before, even though they initially said you won't need to do this. Then they made you do it. And then they're like, don't worry, we'll take it out. They finally took it out. So that's all great and good.
Thanks.
But
Did they take it out, or they announced they were taking it out?
It's out now.
It is out now? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, as Danny might be alluding to, who knows if in like fucking 6 months you'll need to create a meta account to log into this thing.
Yeah, and you got to send your blood in for one of those on a stool sample.
Yeah.
So wizards can fuck off.
Yeah,
No, they can just
wizards allowed.
transport it in.
Yeah, they get it there sooner.
Yeah, it's actually
Save on
it's
postage.
expedited.
Mr. Zuckerberg's office. Clean up.
Instantly,
Mr. Zuckerberg's
overtaken with wizard duty.
office. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, no, leave it all here. I love this.
Yes.
Some of this barbecue sauce on it.
Yeah. This was
Nice.
because you're right. When they because they initially had Oculus accounts, and then obviously Oculus got acquired by Facebook, and they were like, oh, don't worry. And then
Nobody told
they were
John
like,
Carmack.
actually, yeah, right. And they were like, actually worry. Actually, we are going to make you have a Facebook account. And then when the wave of people going like, I don't want to have a Facebook account started going around, people discovered that all their Oculus purchases and all this other stuff was suddenly tied to having a Facebook account. It is one of the few reasons why I still have a Facebook account. And that sucks. But yes, if they're going to decouple this stuff back to another account, is this just going to end up being like, now you've got a top level account for Meta and you can use it to log into Oculus and you can use it the Oculus brand is going away, right? I believe they are just eventually moving it to like, it's the Meta Quest 2 and other stuff like that. I don't think I thought I read that. I'm not 100% positive on that one, but
Meta is
I
the
believe
most
they are.
cyberspace ass word. It's so dumb. Metaverse.
Oculus sounds so cool too.
Yeah, Oculus is like a really effective name for that thing. And also, like, if you dig into their vision, if you want to call it that, for the metaverse and how important they think their work is, like, it's just the most brain dead, bone stock, fucking simple ass, exploitative, stupid shit that they could have come up with. Half this stuff is already being done in different places. Like VR chat is more of a fucking metaverse than any of this other shit is. Like they're already doing it. It's just clunky and weird, and you wouldn't necessarily hand it off to your grandmother. So like if they're trying to find a softer edge for VR, fucking good luck. You still have to find a way to make people not get sick. They never quite solved that one for 100% of people. So, I think that's the dumbest thing for me. And I think you talked about Carmack. Like Carmack gave his little talk at the Oculus Con, and he just sounded like, these fucking idiots are going to dump money into this thing. So great efforts are being made to push in this direction, but like also seem to imply that they have no fucking idea what they're doing. They just think that there needs to be a metaverse, but they don't know why, and that's
right. Or they don't want to like concern themselves with the details of how it's actually going to work on a computer science level.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And from a marketing or market perspective, rather, they probably just want most of all no one else to fucking do it. Like the problem people have been talking about when it comes to AR and VR for the past 5-10 years is that Facebook have sucked all the oxygen out of the room. They've hired. Like they've thrown money at all the best people to come to do this thing. So like no one else is able to do it. So it's like the rough edge of this monopolized tech world we have now where these titans that just like fucking they're too big and they're not gonna, it's more important for them to just like hold whatever market there is than to actually like innovate, I guess.
They all want to do Ready Player One, but all of them forget that Ready Player One was a fucking apocalypse.
They didn't
get that part.
It is like it really is getting harder and harder to imagine a world where that is not our dark future. However bad we do not want it. But I bet Adam McKay's already done with the first draft of this story that he's going to make a movie out of just to explain it to dummies.
Sure, why not? I just like it's sad. I think there's a ton of cool things that you can do with VR and telepresence and all the other stuff that Oculus talked about early on when they're just like, hey, we can have fun objects that you can play with and you just hang out and chat. And then VR chat came along and did that and is still doing that for free and all this other stuff. And, the idea that these people are going to roll in here and be like, none of this is happening anywhere. It's like, whatever, it's been happening. Like they just want to try to make it a marketable, ubiquitous thing. And like, that's a gross way to go about it. But obviously that's the Facebook way to go about everything. So of course they're going to do this. Of course, great investments will be made. But it just seems like they have no idea what they're fucking doing. or at least like everything they've rolled out. I mean, whatever, they have a billion smart people that I'm sure are smart enough to look at this and be like, no, the people on high have no idea what the fuck they want us to build. They just want us to build it. And they're giving us all the money in the world to solve these problems. So fuck it, let's solve these problems. And, you know, at least that work will get done. And then hopefully someone will steal it and make an open source equivalent and do something cool. But I think we all know that's not how this story ends. So
I want it to end in Tower Unite.
yeah.
I need it.
Yes.
The only true. I
think they are going to add VR support to Tower Unite at some point.
Oh man.
I think this
So-
story ends with 2 words. Moving on. Last and least, we mentioned it last week.
Excuse me.
We mentioned it last week as a potential leak that the Warner Bros. Were working on their own Smash-inspired platform fighter. And sure enough, Hungrybox, the prominent Smash player, streamer, competitor, tweeted out a screenshot of a character select screen. File this under take his word for it, bro. We do not know if this is 100% real or not, but he was confident enough to tweet it out with like the caption saying, "Y'all thought I was lying." Sure enough, here's a character select screen. Just run
This
down
is the guy
list
that
of-
got crabs thrown at him, right?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm prone to believe him. Okay, yeah, then he's obviously heavy in the game.
The first character here is a new character for the game, but then other than that, you've got Steven Universe, Batman, Harley Quinn, Jake and Finn from Adventure Time, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Superman from Superman, Wonder Woman, Gandalf, Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty, Bugs Bunny, and Tom and Jerry. Looks like a starting roster here. One would assume they are already planning a sort of fighter's pass because every game does that now.
And
more
worth mentioning
characters.
maybe that they're all like the same cartoon kind of look.
Yes,
It's not
they
like,
all
yeah,
have
the
a
same art
similar
style.
Bale. Yeah.
Yeah, like cartoon, I guess is the best way I would
Definitely.
describe this style. Which is cool. It is cool having them kind of have a universal look. I mean, but like Tom and Jerry like translate 1-to-1. Like he looks
Yeah.
like they look like Tom and Jerry, but then like
Jake
And
looks
it's one
fine.
character.
know about
It's
this
not like
Gandalf.
Jerry's a separate character. It's like an ice climber sort of situation.
right. I don't know about this Gandalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaggy's a
little
bit.
rough.
Yeah, doesn't make the transition to whatever art style this is particularly well. But yeah, the rest of them look like
Ultra Shaggy.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck this game. I like memes. I love memes.
Really?
I thrive on memes.
You don't
But
say.
you
You don't
can't-
say.
You can't have
What's your favorite
the
meme?
premise of all time.
You've seen that blinking guy?
It's pretty good.
Am I contractually obligated to say the blinking guy?
Yes. What's your second favorite meme?
I'll have an answer when I'm done with this rant. But like, you can't have the entire premise be like, look, we're gonna put this in because it's like the meme. If you can fit a meme into your game because it makes sense, that's good. If you're forcing a meme into your game for meme's sakes, nobody's gonna have fun. Nobody's going to like it. It's creatively bankrupt. I want my memes with integrity.
Sure. The way they're
Yeah.
incepted, yeah.
Yeah.
And my favorite meme is probably the Galaxy Brain.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's versatile. You can do a lot of variations of it.
How many? 4, 3, 5? Like how many
Maybe even
boxes?
5. Oh,
Five?
boxes.
Whoa.
Well, it depends. That's the fun of it, right? Is like you need like probably
Flexible.
3 minimum, I would say, and then you can go like up to 5 if you have a really good premise.
I like the Mahir "You Can Stay My Home" thing. You know, it's a little old, but
Yeah.
you know, that's back when they meant something. Back when they lasted longer than 6-7 hours.
I like the
Got a whole
chicken
summer out of that one. It's
Here
nice.
come that boy. Remember that guy?
I like the Shooting Stars meme. That's a video meme, but
Oh,
it still
yeah.
works. You know, like the spinning. With a kid on the
Oh,
go-kart is
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
All right. Well, looks like that's all the news that you've prepared, Ben. I guess we should start moving on to the next break.
Shopify is more than a store. It's there to help you, the seller, connect with your customers to drive sales and manage your day-to-day. It'll let you accept all major payment methods, all that different stuff, because it's giving you, the entrepreneur, the resources that were once reserved for big business. So people like you, upstarts, startups, established businesses alike, can sell everywhere. You can synchronize your online and your in-person sales and effortlessly stay informed. It'll help you scale your business, Basically, the idea is here, it'll keep track of your inventory, whether you're selling it out there out of the trunk of your car, like Too Short and Freddie B, or whether you're selling on the internet. You don't want to run out of supply in one place or the other, all other stuff. It helps you keep track of both. And that's pretty cool. You can supercharge your knowledge, your sales, and your success, because Shopify is tirelessly reinventing tools of growth for over 1.7 million businesses to help them succeed every single day, regardless of what they are selling. You can reach customers online across social networks. Shopify has an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps like, Facebook. Everyone loves those guys. Instagram, hey, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. Synchronize your online and in-person sales. You can gain insight as you grow with detailed reporting on conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Go to shopify.com/bomb. That's all lowercase. For a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/bomb right now. Shopify.com/bomb.
Welcome back to the Giant Bombcast, episode 710. Wow. A lot of font talk in the break, just hardcore font talk. Serifs, sans serifs.
I know sans serif is the trend, and I know only old people like serifs. I like serifs.
You're old.
Serifs is good.
You're old now, Ben.
Awesome.
We're old now.
I know.
Yeah. Got
A
no
developer friend yelled at me for
soon enough.
opting for serifs over sans serifs, and I'm like, it's my app. I'll do whatever fonts I want.
Yeah.
Just make your own.
Seriously.
I don't care as long as it's
mobile, so
read it.
your friend can use the app and bring in Comic Sans.
Yeah, import your own
nice.
Google fonts
Yeah.
as a script tag. Do whatever you want.
Can I fuck with the kerning?
Jan, back
That's all
up
I
the
want.
Voicemail dump truck.
This is the new and improved voicemail dump truck.
What?
We heard your concerns
Voicemail dump truck.
about
It's going to be a nightmare for someone.
Voicemail dump truck.
I will say
Nice.
we have seen some comments about some noise issues regarding the voicemails. I took a pass at this week's. We still have some old ones that might have a little bit of hissing and feedback and staticky sounds.
I
but
just thought it was weird that you guys were adding in that noise. I didn't realize.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to add to, the immersion of being called at 3
Some
a.m.
people call from a computer and it sounds too clean, and you need it to sound like a broken phone for it to
Right.
feel like voicemail. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
So now we add them in and then take them out.
Yeah.
Oh,
This isn't
all right, makes
complicated at all.
Okay. Cool.
We did play some of these last week, Ben. We did play, I think, Kiss versus Sonic, and a couple of others.
You should delete the
Clear
ones
that.
from not play them again. How about
If I
that?
remember, I'll do that. All right. You got a suggestion on one of these? And then I'll try and remember
you
with
know
my
what?
mind.
I don't even remember.
Lucky
Oh,
we
how
did.
about-
Let's go.
How about I quit?
Okay.
Oh, Ben, please don't. Not again.
Playing I Quit. Now. Is it playing?
Hey, Bombcast. I'm currently sitting here eating breakfast, contemplating quitting my job and cussing out my boss.
Ooh.
But I just wanted to know, what's the best way you guys ever left a job? Thanks.
I jumped out of a drive-through window.
Hey, this is Nathan from Tumwater, Washington.
Nathan, quiet.
Whoa, Nathan, come on.
Nathan,
Come on
yeah,
now.
you
Wait
gotta-
your turn.
It's not a live show.
Let's head back to that, Jan. You just
Yeah, hold
dropped a zinger on us. Did you?
I feel
did
like-
you say you jumped out of a drive-through window.
I feel like I
that
brought
what I
this
heard?
up before. I worked at a combination KFC Taco Bell, and then my first week, they were like, "Oh, you have a clear voice. We're gonna put you on the graveyard shift at this drive-through." And then, despite
Where
me,
all clear voices are needed.
yeah, and then I asked, it got really cold at the drive-through window at night. I was like, "Can I wear a jacket?" And they was like, "It's gonna take a while to order you an official KFC Taco Bell hoodie, and you can't wear just regular hoodies."
You gotta get this from the Colonel himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knits them.
And then at the end of my first week there, some buddies rolled up to the drive-thru, and they're like, "Yo, what's up?" And I was like, "I hate my job." And they were like, "Just dip." And I looked at them, and it's like, "Y'all want some Frutista freezes real quick?" Loaded up
Stole and
Wow.
quit, okay.
loaded up a tray full of Frutista freezes when they still had those, the mango ones.
Nice.
Jumped into their car, and then
Wow.
yeah, it's great.
Did you hear from them
Good for
again?
you.
Did they like?
They were very adamant that I return my uniform, but I never did.
Good.
Yeah.
And that litigation is
trap.
still ongoing.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Well, John won this one. Does anyone else
I
have anything
can't
even
I don't
remotely
have
as
anything
good?
close. Yeah.
We didn't have to talk
I,
about the whole thing.
On the last day of a truly awful job, I left an hour before lunch, walked to the Best Buy, bought a Wii U, took the bus home, set up my Wii U, installed a game, and then went back for the last hour of work because there'd be cake.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Cake for you.
Yeah. It was like the going away cake.
What was the game? Do you remember?
It was, boy, what would it have been?
What great
Skyward
Wii
Sword.
U title? Zombie U.
Splatoon.
Solid.
Splatoon. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Hey, for me, it was just the one thing.
That's pretty cool.
Jeff's never left a job.
delivery
He's
there.
he's already been fired.
That delivery was just very good.
Moving on.
Dealer's choice. A golden boy for me.
This
Just the
one
one.
looked interesting.
Hey, this is John from New York. I just wanted to know what was the squishiest vegetable you've ever eaten, and under what circumstances did you eat it? Thank you.
Squishiest.
Had a bad
Squishy?
cucumber once.
Oh,
That's it. Is a cucumber a vegetable though?
yes.
Is that? But isn't that one of those ones that's
debating
technically
that.
it's technically a fruit somehow?
No,
it's
that's
like it's got
tomato.
seed. Okay,
It has hella seeds in it though.
Yeah.
I've forget.
Just-
Maybe a
cucumbers
cucumber
are
is a
techni-
fruit. I don't know.
Technically a fruit, right?
No, because like a tomato grows from a vine, right? Isn't that because it's the fruit? It's a vegetable.
It's a
if
plant.
it is.
I'm going to type this into the internet,
roots
the
of
arbiter
thing.
of all arguments.
Jeff was
Right.
right. They are fruit.
Yeah, they're cylindrical. Oh, well, that's just the shape.
They're cylindrical.
Hold the phone.
What's the
Wait a
squishiest
second.
cylinder you've ever put in your mouth?
Oh my god.
You're telling me a pickle's a fruit?
Well, I guess
Is that what we just figure out right here now?
We just need to come up with new words for something that tastes sweet and something that tastes savory.
Time out. I'm not over the fact that there is this brined, salty, half-sour fruit out there called
not okay.
a pickle.
Yeah, pickles are gross.
hey, think
What
about
about sour
No,
apples?
cucumbers
Yeah.
are gross. What? Huh?
sour
What
apples.
about like sour apples?
Warheads.
They're not salty.
well,
You put
peanut
you
butter.
put salt on them.
There's like those salty plum and lemon drinks. Like
Peanuts
those
are
Vietnamese drinks.
legumes.
You should
Ow.
put salt on a pineapple. It'll help get
Okay.
rid of like the stinging
No.
sensation when you
Got
eat
attacked
it.
by a cylindrical thing.
People put salt on watermelon.
Yeah.
I feel like vegetables don't know what the fuck they are to begin with. Like I
They
feel
know
like
what
they're not
they are.
Eat a
even-
lot of pineapples
don't
to fix the cylindrical juice flavor.
Pineapple.
Okay.
I fucking love pineapple.
Oh yeah.
That's squishy. That's real squishy. Once you get in.
Well, on the inside, I mean, it seems like it does not want you to eat it. Like pineapple does everything it can for you to be like, stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
But
then it loses. It loses the
inside
zest.
is the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You really win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Dry
I li-
pineapple.
Ooh.
Squash is
Get
the
that from
answer to this
TJ's.
question, I think.
Squash, probably, sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably right.
A sweet potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a vegetable.
That's not that squishy though, right? Raw, right?
No,
Like,
no,
No.
straight up.
No, you got to really
Unless it's-
bake it.
unless it's
Boil
gone
it.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
I-
pumpkins are all gone bad. I gotta get rid of them.
Wait,
I had somebody
are pumpkins
who-
vegetables? They're probably fruits, right? Because they
It's
got
a fruit.
seeds.
It's a fruit.
Yeah.
I found this out yesterday.
Fuck off.
Sorry.
Well, pumpkins are sweet.
Hey guys, Azzy here. What happened to calzones? I was really
question.
craving a calzone the other day, and I looked at all of the pizza places in town, and none of them had calzones. I know Pizza Hut used to have like a pizzone thing, but they don't have that anymore. What happened to calzones? They're like
I mean,
straight better than pizza 90% of the time.
This is
Well,
still
that's-
I
going.
mean, yeah, that's a lot of carbs and bread and whatever, but like,
false statement.
I
Cheese.
want a calzone.
Yeah, we get it.
I'm hungry. Damn it. I'm gonna go find a calzone.
Fucking, I'm hungry for a calzone now.
Is he?
They're done. They're done. Thanks, Abby.
I have
Fuck,
put
man.
that in there for the insane. They're straight up better than pizza in every way
Which
line.
is such a
I knew that was
insane
gonna
thing
piss
to
him off.
leave your mouth. It's just such a crazy thing to say out loud. I
It's
feel
just
like,
a pizza you fold in half and you put a different cheese in it.
but it's like bread loaded though. It's like at least the pizza has the bread underneath and the cheese and the sauce is like on top. This is just like
You haven't just taken
it's
a
like
pizza that's been too
stuffed
greasy to
bread.
handle and just folded it in half and been like, all right, fuck it, it's a sandwich now?
Look,
Clark, have you ever folded a
never
piece of
the
pizza in half?
answer. You always settle for a calzone. You never go out and be like, I need a calzone first and foremost. It's
That
always
sounds like
like
exactly what this
settle.
person is doing.
What if you
that is the
could
key.
get both in one? I present to you the Little Caesars Crazy Calzone.
Which is a calzone
that?
pizza somehow.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
the shape of a
pizza with
crucifix,
it's a
right?
cross. It's and then the four spokes coming off of it are
Oh,
calzone-esque.
fuck this. I keep forgetting
that's- What?
this is what the rest of the country looks like. We're like, this is a thing you
What's
go
this
out
called?
and seek.
I believe it's called the Crazy Calzone.
Get the fuck
Can we get a picture of
outta
this?
here.
Can we get a picture of this up on the? Can we get a picture
I'll
of this?
find it.
Masato's necklace and Ava.
Oh my god.
And they put
Don't show
they
it.
put different pepperoni on it. It's like it's julienne.
This is
That's
Julienne?
That's
That is-
black. We were talking, Jan. Was I talking about the pepperoni tier list with you?
It's
Or was it
probably.
somebody else?
Oh yes, that's a you and me conversation.
Yeah, how like the diced up little pepperoni is
Oh
awful.
yes,
Garbage
yes.
tier pepperoni.
This looks like a sigil.
What?
You want the
Yeah,
crisp
no,
cut.
this is a rune. You are enacting a ritual of some kind when you go to Little Caesars and say,
Before
"Get me
the-
one of these so I can eat it." There's definitely like the runes are involved. Like something happens.
All the
something
candles get
happened to
blown
me
out for a second.
when I ate this entire thing.
If you at midnight look
Did
into
you-
a mirror and say Little Caesars 3 times, it appears behind you.
Yeah, that looks like
Hot and
fucking
ready.
Thanksgiving at Dan
Oh,
Riker's
man.
house right there. I
That
feel
that Boomerang X game, they should have partnered up with
there you go.
Little
Yeah,
Caesars.
money on the table.
You have
I'm
a certain
glad I
skin.
ordered that thing, and I am glad I ate it. But I would probably never order it again. It was an interesting disaster.
It's $8.49.
That's
Oh man, how can you afford to not get one at this point?
know.
Shit, I gotta get one right now.
Wait, so I don't understand. The calzones haven't gone anywhere though. Back to the original question.
The
at hand.
pizzone is not, like I think places that used to. So I took it upon myself as someone who had not eaten Papa John's pizza in a good decade or so. I was like, I want to try this. Shaquille O'Neal, what's up with that guy? He only eats one pizza here and there. He's not eating 40 pizzas in 30 days. I can trust Shaquille O'Neal. And so I ordered Papa John's, and they have a sandwich type thing that I believe they call a papadilla. It is calzone-esque.
No, I can't.
But it is more taco-like in its. But it's also it's like a buffalo chicken sandwich, honestly, in between pizza dough, and it was okay.
I was gonna.
Pizza is shit. Absolute shit.
It's bad.
Just the fucking bottom. I would take Little Caesars $5 pizza. I would go to 7-Eleven for a pizza.
I would eat a rolling hot dog over that fucking hot trash.
They got $5 pizzas at a 7-Eleven.
Yes,
just like
they also
Little
have
Caesars.
wings. They also have wings at 7-Eleven.
They got those little tacos.
Okay, you guys, come on.
I got thigh stop. I got thigh stop on Halloween.
Yes!
I did it. I did the thing on the door. Yeah, I got it.
They just straight up have it there now. It's terrible.
It was awesome. It was what a terrific midnight food crime to make when you've been drinking for 7 hours straight. It was amazing. Wish I had that wizard's fucking trick.
I wanted to bring up the ideas of quesadillas to people that miss calzones because almost kind of there.
Quesadilla I can fuck with. That's great. Let's do it.
Yeah.
More quesadillas.
More quesadillas.
More of them.
Just like more voicemails.
Yes.
Hi, this
Like a
is
stromboli.
Mike from Illinois. My kids and I were just doing raids in Pokemon Sword, and this guy had this ice cream Pokemon named Alcremie, and the nickname he gave his Alcremie was 2 Swirls, 1 Cup. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Cool. That's
right.
my favorite meme. Sorry, I take it
Cool.
back.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, real quick, based off of that, Shagatron, if you're listening, Shagatron, you cannot call into my voicemail line and leave voice messages like that. It was the most obscene thing I've heard. Please don't call back and leave.
Well, now you
have to share.
It's
What
not
is the
a
rest of the
drive.
class, Ben?
No, it is.
Can you?
I
can you
learned
just,
some terms. I learned pornography terms and I'm pretty online.
Send that to me then.
Okay, I'll send.
Can you just
Just
can
name
you
one.
just
Name one
scrape the
pornography
surface?
term
Yeah,
here. Let's have pornography quiz. What do we?
Yeah.
It's in the vault.
Can you just in the most like a stick figure-y, benign way describe something, or just I really am curious now. You can't go and say you heard the most obscene thing you ever heard, and then say next voicemail and just skip it. Like let's.
Got to give me something.
Unless you say moving on.
Can I get a taste? Well, I don't want a taste, but you know what I mean.
Well, actually, that's pretty close to what they were talking about. So you're on the right track.
Okay.
There's taste. Well, I guess if it's
Is it like the
far
Limp
enough down
Bizkit
there,
song?
You don't really taste things. Let's just move on. Actually,
Wow.
All right.
Never seen this happen to Ben.
Hey, what's up, beaters? This is David from Roanoke, Virginia. It's almost 6 p.m. On the East Coast. I just got home from work, and I have to cook food for my fucking family. What are some quick, 10-minute or less meals that you guys enjoy making for yourself and for your partners? Okay, love you. Thanks. Bye.
Love you too.
Going to be way too late for you.
Calzones, baby.
But maybe for next time.
quesadillas.
Yeah, quesadillas, you cook that
Actually,
shit up real fast.
Yeah.
You know,
What's your
especially
guys'
if you're not
go-to
going-
quick?
Okay, yo. Here it is. You take the red Shin ramen, right? It's the red packet. It's got a little bit of spice. What you do, you heat up a neutral oil. So that's canola, maybe a vegetable, just a little bit.
Okay.
You boil your noodles in a separate pot, but then as soon as the oil is heating up, right, you empty the soup packet and some garlic into a separate bowl. You pour that oil over the soup packet and the garlic, and then you got yourself a little chili oil. It's weird. As soon as your noodles are done, drain those bad boys off, throw them in the hot chili oil. Mwah.
Shit.
That's good
I've
stuff.
been thinking about. I've been eating too much of this. My sodium is probably through the fucking roof right now, but it's delicious.
Okay, well, in moderation. You know, everything in moderation.
No, every damn day.
Oh well.
If you want to be crazier, add an egg to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know I want
Oh,
to.
okay, yeah.
I'm all about
I feel
those.
like I just microwave shit. I don't value. I wish Wouldn't it be great if we could live like the future astronauts that we could have and just eat pills for food and not have to deal with food, to think of all the time we would have back that I could use to play upcoming video
I know
games.
some Facebook groups you can join if you want to get some pills you can have instead of food.
Yeah. I feel like, are you talking more about like the Fifth Element where she like sprinkles the pills into the thing and then just like hydrates it, or are you talking about like I would like
I'm
to have
talking
a
like
1,000-calorie pill and be
what?
be
Yeah,
done
like
with
what
it?
if I never had to eat? What if I could just take something and be like, okay, nutritionally okay, and like I like food. Don't get me wrong. I mean, look at me. I fucking like food, but
say eating
but
good food is great. Like,
yeah, but like it takes so much fucking time.
well, then switch to one of those fucking deals where you can drink all your food and get your caloric.
I do. It's
get those
fucking
microwave
Kettle
meal
One
packs.
vodka. They sell it in these really big bottles.
Big straw. You're all set.
You can get
No,
one of
I
those,
don't want
like-
to fucking get into any of that fucking gruel.
Have you tried the baby food?
Oh
No,
it's not good.
I just
You
so
don't
it's
want
just
that.
like here's fucking microwave some fucking burritos, and like I'm just trying to get back to what I'm trying to get back to. Just trying to get shit done.
Okay. I like cooking a quick baked chicken thing. I have a nice like garlicky, pan crusted panko breadcrumb thing that I like to do a little bit. When I really
Wait, is
need
that
it
recipe?
quick, I can knock it out in like 20 minutes from like slicing up chicken to serving it on the table.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna
that's
say
usually
if
my go-to.
if we just are generally and maybe expanding it out a little bit, like 10 minutes of prep, I can whip
tough,
together
yeah.
a mean enchilada casserole and then pop that in the oven for a little while. That's
You
a
can
really
get
nice
like
go-to.
you can make a stir fry in like 5-6 minutes if you have all the stuff. And if you don't have the
Yeah.
stuff, just like make some spaghetti and throw that on. It's okay. No one's watching. Don't worry about it.
I want to know why DoorDash orders so often forget the drink.
Get
really?
thirsty
Talking
on the
about
drive.
creating food.
Yeah. I
Oh,
straight up
that's
think it's
interesting.
just the drivers getting thirsty.
Yeah, are
I
the drivers just
never
like, I
order
don't have room
drink.
in my car for this because I got 5 orders. I'm throwing it out because I respect that.
That or like I bet you more often than not they accidentally drop it.
Or they accidentally finish it and drink it
I
themselves.
got
or
a
it spills, they don't want it in their car.
I got a milkshake recently that was accidentally dropped.
And they still
try
gave
not
it
to
to you?
do-
They still gave it to me, and it was that feeling of just like, I don't know if this was scooped off of the floor of your car or if this stayed in the cup or not. So I kind of can't drink any of it.
I try not to do DoorDash too often, but the last
Yeah.
time I did it, me and my partner ordered from Five Guys, and we got like 2 burgers, 2 fries, 2 shakes, and it shows up 2 burgers, 2 fries, 1 shake, and I'm like, they didn't only make 1 shake. You had a shake as my driver, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Your job
You drank
sucks.
it.
You can steal my milkshake. You can drink. We'll share this one.
Yeah,
But,
like I'll hit the button on the thing and get the credit back, and you're not gonna,
Yeah.
they're not gonna
Fine,
come back to
yeah.
you. Like whatever.
as long as you
But-
bring us half of the milkshakes and we can have a little bit of a milkshake, it's fine. Don't worry, buddy.
It's the final like puzzle to the entire DoorDash model. Drinks, don't do drinks. Like
Don't do
they
drinks.
just don't do drinks.
It comes with
I
stuff
realize
sometimes.
it
Sometimes I'm
can.
getting
Yeah.
a combo. It's like, here's these
I
tacos,
get
and it
it.
comes with a drink, and I'm like, great, I could use a drink, and then the drink doesn't show up, and I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I get it with specialty stuff like your milkshakes, your egg creams.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's something it's the schedule we are on with new baby and all this other stuff.
Sure.
I've found myself getting a lot of garbage food brought to the house. And so I have been able to really ascertain just how fucked some of this process is.
someone will figure out getting the garbage truck to also deliver the garbage food while picking up your garbage.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Step away, baby.
Kill those 2 birds with 1 stone, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Ben, were there any other voicemails that you felt stood out that you want to play?
They're all good, buddy.
They're all good.
Aw.
They're all good. But let's read a couple emails before we head out of here today. The email address is bombcast@giantbomb.com. But Ben, what what was the voicemail number, just in case people don't know it?
That's right. If you want to call and leave a voicemail, it's 707-EXIT-FLU.
First email today comes from Vaughn from Northern Ireland. They write, people often talk about the games they think are the best in a given year, or their all-time favorites. But Guilty Treasures got me thinking, what are some video games that you think define your history in gaming? Ones that explain a lot about what your tastes are like today. And then Vaughn goes on to write about how much DDRs informed their gaming tastes and how much they love rhythm games. Thanks, Vaughn.
I think I vibe with the Amiga game world, that was a very particular style of video game that was getting made because they couldn't be that big. They had to sit on a disc, not the stuff that ended up on other machines or was like a PC port like XCOM that came on 12 discs or whatever. Like the games that were just made, they had to be simple ideas, but they could still be kind of have a little bit of audio visual flourish. So that's why I like games like Sensible Soccer and Cannon Fodder. They have that indie spirit that I still think I really appreciate in modern games, where they're they're punching a little bit above their weight.
It's like we I feel like over the years we talk about this game feels like it definitely came out of the UK, and I think or Europe, and in some cases, but I think what that actually means is there are games that have a demo scene vibe to them. And the Amiga is where that, I think, lives most of all. It's just here we go. I don't know. We put a big bubbly font on it because we could. This
game's going to have to
outrun, but also it feels like,
lots of
someone
games
who
that
coded a bunch of Cracktros made it. Yeah.
Think Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, because ever since then, have not been able to get over tiles or crystals. Look in my house; it's all just crystals and tiles.
Wow.
I forget who wrote this one. Forgot to write their name down. I apologize. But someone wrote in saying, "Hey, Bomb Dudes, got to wondering this with the new rollout of N64 games. So I ask, what was the first good 3D platformer camera? Mario 64 was fine, but I don't think any N64 or PS1 games count. Help me, Bombadooders." Maybe Ratchet and Clank.
I was gonna say Ratchet and Clank, except for them having the axis reversed. That was the only thing that I think sucked from them. But yeah, Ratchet was pretty good. Was Jack 2 good?
Those games I cannot remember.
Yeah, because then there was more mobility because they wanted to make it into a GTA.
Right. So maybe that doesn't count anymore almost, but it's kind of a different thing. But
was GTA 3? Did that have a good camera?
I was just about to say, I can't remember.
I feel like GTA 3, especially when you go back to it now, doesn't have. That's why I think this remaster is going to be interesting, because a lot of that game, control-wise and all this other stuff, is kind of messed up by modern standards. And even then, I think it was just hard to do. Or hard to find a good control solution for that style of game.
Did it snap? I feel like it might have snapped, in the driving probably, because I remember playing it on PC then later and being like, "Whoa, I have full control over where I'm looking
with the mouse or whatever." Yeah, it might have.
And that was also a game. It's not like Jack in those games where you kind of need to look around. Like in GTA, you were pretty much always looking forward or directly behind. There was no strafing really happening in that game.
I wonder if it's just because of a recency bias, but did the Tony Hawk games, the first one, I feel like that camera was kind of okay.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's if you want to call those 3D platformers, which I think is an absolutely valid read on them.
Skirts in, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, I guess Activision had their earnings call and they just delayed Overwatch 2 and Diablo.
Overwatch 2, a game announced 2 years ago today.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Of course.
Happy anniversary.
Here's this for you. Okay. Again,
Call of Duty
Overwatch 2 is never going to come out.
It's never going to come out. I forgot. Oh, there we go. Mark from Belleville, Michigan, writes in, I discovered an astonishing reevaluation while conversing with my nephew. I was flabbergasted when he told me Roblox's release date. Can the all-knowing game historians, I'm going to also add genre dicks, of Giant Bomb, guess the correct year Roblox came out?
2014.
I'm recusing
Say
myself because I looked
2012.
this up recently.
Ooh, 12 seems ballsy but accurate.
Okay.
Are you
Gerstmann,
going
2012?
off of when they were it launched, or when they officially launched Roblox the game? Because it was tools for development before it was an a game, right?
I'm going to go off the date that the emailer wrote in. So I'm going to give them blind faith that they are completely correct in this. Danny, you said 2014? Jeff, 2012? Jeff?
Yeah.
You going to say 2012 also?
2010.
2010? Ben, you're recusing yourself.
That is correct. I recently looked this up and was blown away.
The answer is September of 2006.
Jeez Louise.
Damn.
What?
I cannot process
That's a
that
retro
at all.
game, man.
Because that's the thing is
retro
it was-
game.
I can pull it up here. Keep going.
Is Roblox back up yet? They were down for
They were down for
days.
3-4 days. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if they're back up.
What was it?
I
What,
almost
some sort
threw
of
that in
fast
the
food
news.
thing?
Yeah. 2006. Holy fuck.
Damn.
They say they're back
Damn.
up.
Okay, good for them. All right.
God
Kind of
damn.
related to one of the news stories we talked about today. A little bit of a long one. Simon from Montreal writes, Hey, Bombcast. Lately, a piece of fan art, here attached, and I'll flash that on screen for y'all, has been making the rounds depicting the main trio of Kingdom Hearts, but with Donald and Goofy being replaced by Porky Pig and Daffy Duck, respectively. Mickey would presumably be replaced by Bugs Bunny in this scenario. That being said, here's my pitch for what would happen if each Disney-themed world in the first two Kingdom Hearts games was replaced by Warner Brothers-owned properties instead. Discuss. I'll just list off a couple of these. Instead of being caught inside Monstro to represent Pinocchio, you would just be inside the Meg, the Jason Statham movie.
The Megalodon.
That's an improvement.
Nice. Good job.
Instead of Agrabah from Aladdin, you'd be in Arrakis, Dune.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Instead of
Yeah, I like
Wonderland, Alice in Wonderland, you'd be in the Wonka factory. That'd be pretty cool. Instead of Halloween Town, The Nightmare Before Christmas, you'd just be in Gotham City.
Downgrade.
Yeah.
Instead of the Disney Castle, you would just be on the Warner Brothers movie lot. I could get down
I feel
with
like
that.
that's like a more naked take on what Kingdom Hearts is. Which is like, fuck it, you're on a movie lot.
Instead of space paranoids from Tron, you just be in the Matrix. I'd say an upgrade. And one of the final ones, they wrote in a bunch, but instead of the Pride Lands from Lion King, you would be in the Arctic Ocean from Happy Feet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then let me give y'all a program feed, because this is the fan art they were talking about.
That
Is that
looks
fan
like
art,
more
or
of a
did somebody
Photoshop
just...
than
Yeah.
But
It just...
did both.
Made it-
Okay.
This kind of upsets me, but I'm also kind of with it.
It's a downgrade because you go from one party member wearing pants to 0.
Right.
There was a voicemail about Donald Duck in it, actually.
Okay. How do y'all feel about 2 more emails?
Are they
let's do it.
Kingdom Hearts related?
They are not. They are
Okay,
not.
All right.
yes.
Thank
all
you.
right, I'm in.
Thank you. I can add something.
You're allowed one.
Okay. Nope. I don't want to read that one anymore. I guess let's read this one from Fat Scout. Fat Scout from Rochester, New York here. Medium-time listener, first-time emailer. With the success of the new Limp Bizkit album and a ton of other...
What the fuck is medium time on Giant Bomb? Like only 7 years. Like just, I'm real... I missed all the early stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
go
don't-
on.
with a ton of other new metal ass bands becoming big, Ocean Grove, Code Orange, My Ticket Home, Vane FM, would you say that new metal is officially back? I'm not sure what to think myself. To me, new metal was both the music and the cultural moment of like Fred Durst going on TRL and shit talking the Backstreet Boys and stuff like that. And we don't have a modern version of that stuff yet. Do you think the modern version of the latter stuff, think Fred Durst feuding with like, I don't know, K-pop people, since they're the modern version of the Backstreet Boys, is necessary for new metal to officially be back? Sincerely, Fat Scout.
I don't think it's Fred Durst's place to do this. You know,
Yeah.
he's the
I also
elder
don't think
statesman of this.
K-pop
And
is the equivalent of Backstreet Boys.
It's bigger.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely bigger.
Also, there's plenty of pop bands still out there doing their
yeah,
thing.
like you could have, but like now it's like now it's just like pop acts decided, well, we're gonna swear too, so now like Justin Bieber's got an edge and all this other shit. So there's there's no
ass.
yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. It's just like how weird
Isn't
to have.
Isn't like the battle for monoculture over? Like then it was like
Yeah.
Right.
TRL was like the summit of the mountain. It was like king of the hill for what's like the cool genre of music. Whereas now it's just, you know, the highway's got 50 lanes. Pick whatever music you want. There's no like, you know, one
Yeah.
type of music everyone has to listen to or one station or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's like who will Eminem pick fights with now if it's not if there's no like
Triumph
modern
is,
Christina
Call Me
Aguilera. Yeah, right. Well, okay, yeah. Just that. Yeah. I don't think we need it. I don't think
I will
you're right.
say
There's no center stage for it anymore. There's no place to have that fight.
And
Fortnite.
and I still maintain it is coming back in a more ironic way than non-ironic.
Oh, nostalgic, like ironic / nostalgic, right? Kind of like the weird blurred lines of like why people like the prequel movies is like there's some irony, there's some nostalgia, it's a mess. No one can really kind of put their finger on why.
But it's disgusting when you look at it from a distance. You're like,
Exactly.
oh.
Yes.
Yeah. Like how bucket hats are back.
sure.
That's never left.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, don't ask Schoolboy Q that. I will say I walked into a Hot Topic recently and studded belts are back, baby.
Oh,
It's time to
man.
bust them out.
The amount of kids that I've seen wearing like
Yeah.
black, you know, like black baggy pants with the white like trim or whatever.
Where are you
know,
seeing that?
fucking out and about, you know? I go out in the world now a little bit now that I'm vaccinated. Sometimes I
But do you Hot Topic? I don't understand. Where are you going?
just
where
like
you're
fucking
seeing
walking
that?
around. People on the street. People are
I
on
feel
the
like
street.
I'm constantly driving by a high school and seeing kids because it's
don't be
near my
doing that.
house.
Get a new fucking hobby. That's weird. Like,
That's weird.
yeah. Like
Moving on.
Thanks, Jim.
I guess we'll end it on this. Calvin from wherever writes, "Good day, duders. I'm a Chicago native who just got back from a week in the West Coast. Had my first Jack in the Box and In-N-Out experience. After looking both menus, all I could think was that Jack in the Box is the Pornhub of food, and Jack in the Box is monogamy. I think they meant to say In-N-Out is monogamy. If so, where does that put McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell? Thanks, Calvin."
Wait, okay, I really need to unpack these analogies here.
Yes, I'm lost in the analogy.
Backlar, since Jack in the Box is not out there, Jack in the Box has one of the widest varieties on their menu
Okay.
of any
You can
fast food
get,
place.
burgers,
It's like a
normal
diner?
stuff. Then you can
Fajitas,
also get jalapeno poppers, fajitas,
mini tacos,
spring rolls,
like rice bowls,
tacos,
or
rice
fajita
teriyaki
pitas.
rolls.
Jack in the Box does all that?
Yeah.
and
like
more.
somehow every single item is like layered with a level of grease that is alarming. Like there's like that's a unifying element is that it's all just like a fucking grease bomb.
Got it.
It's how they fit it in the box. You gotta
Yeah, and then like over the last handful of years, they've started just saying like, "Fuck it, let's make stoner food." And for a while, they would only sell these at night, and now they're like, "Oh, we'll sell it all the time because it's legal here now, I guess."
Wait,
I'm
and
just
the
looking-
Munchie meals all the time now?
Yeah, the Munchie meals, I think you can kind of order them whenever.
Pay more. They're
Yes.
cheaper at night.
Yes, they're cheaper, and they were cheaper
Wow.
at night. I don't know if that's still the case, but
What's in them?
there's
Just
not
like
a Jack in
crunchy
the Box.
stuff.
so it's like, hey, it's like, hey, we took the sourdough bun from the sourdough jack, and we put a chicken on it, and then onion rings, and then a bunch of nacho cheese, and then it comes in a box with some tacos and some regular and some curly fries because you're too fucking high. Like,
Or they'll do like a
the-
grilled. I remember my favorite was the grilled cheeseburger where the buns were grilled cheeses.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh my
that's right.
God.
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds
I
I've been
get it
eating
now.
one's being
And they
offered
specifically marketed it as something to get because you are high.
Yeah.
Got it.
Like the commercials were like Jack sitting in a basement. They have a big cartoon mascot guy sitting in a basement with like some other burnout dude being like, "Whoa, let's go get Jack in the Box."
Imagine being
So you guys-
high and being like, "That's the shit I want to support." Like that
Yeah.
speaks to me. I'm gonna go get Jack in the Box.
That sounds all right. Did you guys grow up around Jack in the Box? Did you? Because when I moved here, I thought it was weird that it was called Jack in the Box. It sounds like Jack in a Box. Like your food fucking restaurant is called Jack in a.
It does.
That's all I
take a
see.
minute to
Still.
get over
My
the-
dad always went there with it. But, it's Jack in the Box. It's the clown thing. You turn the crank on and it pops out the top. That's a Jack in the
my
Box.
understanding.
My parents called it Jack in the Crack.
Yeah,
Which
a lot of
I-
Jack in the Crack. A lot of Jack in the Crack.
True.
For sure.
That's
Food's
how they
weird.
used to teach us. Yeah, not celibacy or not what is it? Safe sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad this does not exist where I live.
It's powerful.
So-
those mini tacos, get the mini tacos and get them to dump a bunch of cheese on it. That's such right. That guy who wrote in, who called in saying it did his stomach wrong, still fuck him all these weeks later. Fuck him.
Just magic away
Get a
your
stronger
problems.
stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, get a stronger stomach.
Order it more often. Like all these people that I had Taco Bell and it gave me the poops. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's about
a
building
wizard.
a tolerance.
Yeah. It's like any allergy. You can get over it, right?
If eating that makes
Exposure.
you sick, you have you're weak in the stomach.
Yes.
Cowards. Cowardly tummies.
Cowardly tummies.
The only way to beat it is
what's-
to eat more of it. Yep.
Yep. Yes.
So what's Taco Bell on the register?
So
I think it's
what
just an orgy.
Pornhub?
It's also a
Horny old man orgy. It's an orgy, but like this.
I just don't feel
Three
comfortable
people
answering.
doing different positions.
3 people, 15 poses.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a compilation, if anything.
Yeah.
And all right,
the Kama Sutra.
moving on to the end of the show because I can't read any more emails after that last one. I should have
How do I email
copy and
you?
pasted more. You can send
Thanks,
emails to the Giant Bombcast at bombcast@giantbomb.com. If you'd like, you can also send your voicemails to 707-EXIT-FLU, and maybe they'll make their way onto the truck. Gents, thank you for joining me for another week. It's been fun. Some confusing times, and I'm still kind of reeling from the news from earlier. But, stay tuned if you're watching live. We'll play that bad boy after this.
That's right.
Yes, we'll
If
play
you're
that.
not watching live, check it out on
GiantBomb.com.
Real
Yeah.
Layers, new show debuting about
Executive
movies. Yes.
produced by a
Executive
friend of the
produced.
site.
but not
J-
hosted.
Not hosted, but produced
Not
by
It's-
Janina.
Yeah.
Um,
Ivankar.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. Oh God, it's gonna be episode 711 next week. Fantastic. Ooh. Can we
Bring a big bite. Bring a big bite.
You at home also
always
bring a big bite. Maybe skip the 7-Eleven pizza though. We'll see you next
No,
week.
it's fine. It's fine.
All right, microphones are clear. Let me just let this play out.